This podcast features adult content not suitable for listeners under the age of 18. You have been warned.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Back to the Story, where friends come together to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'll be your DM, Klaus. Let's get started. Okay, so picking up where we left off, Chapter 1, Reunited, Embershore Severwind, 5 to 9th, Long Night, Third Era, year 627. Years have passed and it's been 8 months since Ellery was arrested after a burglary gone wrong. Vesper is there. She is released from the deep prison, walking into the courtyard of Rothburn Rook. The two talk and walk before meeting the rest of the group at the Copper Sail. A blizzard has begun outside as a stranger walks in, who turns out to be Kalvyn. It's been almost 2 years since the group has seen him. They all discuss what they've been doing and what's going on before they hear horns going off. The warning horns of the Covenant, the town guard. Heading outside, you all saw Covenant rushing through the blizzard and swirling winds towards the docks. The Covenant guards have massed at the docks as a massive ship moves into it. Raiders disembark for a few minutes. Tensions are high as everyone's on edge. Gold is exchanged and the Covenant part for the Raiders, who begin unloading large chests onto the docks. Asking the Covenant, this seems to be the raiding ship, helmed by a man known as King Called, who wears a crown and carries a massive axe. You've all made your way back to the Copper Sail, discussing what this means. A trio of raiders come to, ordering drinks as the patrons are nervous about their presence. Vesper attempted to heal the fresh wound of one of the raiders, who reacted with swift violence, throwing an axe into her. For a few moments, bloodshed seemed imminent, but tensions were dissolved with more drinks. Finishing up, you all went back to your respective homes, Kalvyn seeing his family for the first time in 2 years. For the next 3 days, the blizzard remained, covering the Ember Coast in thick snow and ice, finally slowing on the 4th day. After a visit to Stonehill Abbey, the temple to Aine, you spoke to Varus, Stoneshield Fidelis, Vesper's father, who argued against the foolish idea of seeking out Basilisk. After this, you all have made your way towards the cavern entrance you've seen before when you met Orcesis the Bronze Dragon. On your way there, you see a strange circle formed by 3 spires coming out of the shallow pools of water. Vesper realized that an ember stone she held began glowing brighter in proximity to the circle, resulting in the spires igniting in lightning energy.
3 lightning elementals burst from the spires, throwing the party into a bloody battle. The group fought bravely and defeated them. Shortly after, through purple and blue energy burst, Meli teleported from somewhere she wasn't sure. She appears in front of the party as you all begin to patch up your wounds in this snow-covered forest.
And Meli, you also see they're kind of all resting, leaning against trees and rocks, kind of having their wounds being patched, wrapped up. You can see they've recently been in a fight, and you can see not far from them, you see a circle of this 30-foot diameter area where the snow is melted away and the trees are kind of cindered, and there's 3 spires sundered in various ways. It looks like it's been burnt.
You guys okay?
Vesper got curious.
Right?
We're relatively fine. It's okay.
Okay. I'm sure someone will fill me in eventually. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you know about Basilisk?
Me? You're asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Do I?
Are you trained in nature?
I don't think so. No.
Give me a straight intelligence check.
Okay. In theory, I'm good at these. So. 22.
22, okay. You probably haven't studied them intimately in their physical abilities and what they're capable of, but you have read about what they can be used for. Their blood can be used to reverse paralytic effects. Anyone's been petrified into stone, this blood can reverse that. And supposedly you've read theories that maybe it could also cause it if distilled in the right way. But it's all theoretical. But you would know that's primarily what they're hunted for, is for use in alchemical purposes.
Cool. I'll pass that information on.
Well, when Vesper gets back, maybe we visit Basilisk too.
Is it a basilisk?
Apparently it's a whole nest that Kalvyn knows of.
We're not going to do that. That is a terrible idea. As my father told us when we spoke to him, it's not happening.
Shall we head into the cave then?
After you?
Oh, don't... Kalvyn?
Yeah.
You promised my dad that you would protect me so many years ago. Why don't you go first?
That's true. What?
Why don't you go first?
Alrighty.
Okay. And, Kalvyn, I think you already rolled last session, so you know where it is, and it's another maybe 15-minute walk from where you are, but you can easily kind of follow Kalvyn, trudging through the snow. It does take longer than expected. It probably takes 20, 25, just because the snow is so thick. You almost, after a 3-day blizzard, need snowshoes to move effectively. But you do get to these 3 big boulders and various other rocks. And moving through the cracks between them, you can kind of see the dark pit, which Ball spotted years ago. Looking down into it is pitch black. Ball, did you leave the rope there when you quickly made your escape? Or did you pull it up with you?
No, I would have pulled it up with me.
Okay. Did you leave it there, or did you take it after you pulled it up?
I think I would have taken it with me. It was more expensive than I'm used to paying for things.
Yeah.
So it's pretty valuable to me, at least.
Okay. So you do get back and you see just this pit. You can't even see the bottom of it.
Down there.
And then I'll start trying to fasten the rope, same way that I did before.
Yeah, you can take the rope, tie it to a different boulder than you did before, so it feels taut.
Just how far down is that?
If I remember correctly, I think it was like 60 feet. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you see me kind of counting on my fingers and I go,
Some of me.
Like,
maybe if 5 of me.
that's like as long as a standard rope. That's a long ways down, Ball.
I have thick rope.
And he does as he pulls it out and ties it. It's like a ship mast rope. It's I'm not going to say the word again, but it's larger than the other ropes.
I can only take so much -1 XP.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vesper.
You're welcome.
kind of like stopping to look over the pit and listen down. Do I hear any noises? I know that I assume it was kind of rowdy when I left, but when I first went there, it was quiet originally.
Yeah, it was. The first 2 times you looked down, it was quiet. Loud when you left. Go ahead and make a perception check at disadvantage. Since you're just relying on hearing, you can't really make use of sight.
9?
Listening, you kind of leave your ears down there before tossing the rope. You don't hear anything. There's a bit of wind up here, so it makes it a little difficult to hear, but you don't hear any movement or any dripping water, really nothing. It's quiet down
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I guess if, do I get the sense that everyone's ready? Like, I guess maybe, like, Ball's just gonna start getting ready to start lowering himself down unless you guys have something better you want to do.
I'm pretty sure we're all just kind of standing around waiting for you to do whatever, man.
All right, so then, Ball starts lowering himself down. If I have some kind of, I imagine I have a torch. Let me check.
I know I do. I can light it.
Okay. So,
somewhere. I have one somewhere.
I think it comes in the Explorer's pack, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think torches come with almost all the packs, so
okay.
I have one of them.
So, I'll light a torch and kind of use it, take it with me in one hand while I hold the rope in the other, and start to make my way down.
Okay, make an athletics check. Okay. You slide down, even holding the torch in one hand, you're pretty easily able to lower yourself quickly, but in controlled fashion. As you come down the light, as you slowly go down into this pit, like it expands down and out. But as before, the light couldn't reach the edge of the walls, nor could it reach the bottom until you get about halfway down and start to see the bottom of the pit. You see, as you left, you see 3 bodies there at the bottom of the rope as you come down, landing at the bottom. The heavy thud. Dust kind of follows up. Bit of snow, too, that's fallen down here.
What state did the bodies look in?
Slashed as you left them.
Because, since we're kind of aware that they are or they might be cannibals, does it look like these bodies have been kind of picked clean or just left?
Make an investigation check as you kind of move out to the north towards the open archway, towards where the bodies were left.
7.
At first, you can't really tell. You can see the blood splattered on the ground as you left them. As you do get closer, and you have to get right up onto them, you notice that one is left completely intact. It hasn't been touched besides your blade, but it looks like 2 of them have been torn apart. You can see it looks like only parts of them remain. It looks like you can see a large amount of blood that is trailing off deeper through that tunnel to the north.
Okay. And just as a reminder, how long has it been since the last time I was here?
It's been weeks. The smell is pretty horrendous for the one body that remains. The other bodies are just pieces are remaining. You see open rib cages, bone, a bit of flesh here and there, guts that have just been spilt and left.
Okay. So I'll kind of get back to where the rope is and kind of give it a bit of a tug and look up and say, next. Smells bad, sorry.
How is it down there, Ball?
Smells bad.
All right. So who wants to go after him?
Not I. No good.
Fine. I'll go after Ball.
Okay, athletics checks for Amsen. And Ball, give me a constitution save.
Okay. Does he get any help from me? I don't know. I'm assuming if I help at the bottom of the rope.
Yeah,
or do they just pull the rope up and just redo what they did with me?
He can slide down the rope. I'll say you can maybe go and hold the light to where it's a little easier for him to see. Okay. It's not a hard thing sliding down a rope.
All right. And then Constitution saving throw?
Yeah, con save. And athletics for Amsen.
8. I rolled an 8. Plus 0.
Great. Okay, so Amsen, as you're sliding down, as you can see the light flickering below, you see Ball carrying the torch moving back towards the bottom of the rope. You're sliding down, and about a quarter or 3/4 of the way down, you start to slip a little bit, and your hands slide, and you grip quickly and kind of burns the palms of your hand. You slow down enough to where you land and kind of fall to your knees at the bottom. It doesn't cause you any major harm, but your palms are burnt from the rope burn. Ball, as you moved over, the smell was staying down there. It's noxious. You're able to kind of stave off this nausea and this vomiting that kind of pools in your body, but it seems like the longer you're going to stay in this area, the worse it's going to be.
By all the gods. I hate rope burn. Seems fine.
Can I use Divine Sense and just kind of, like, see if I get a vibe of anything kind of evil while I'm waiting? I'll get the exact spell. I forgot exactly what it does.
Yeah. And as Ball kind of turns to face the shadows once again, closing his eyes to focus in on this sense, who's going next? Go ahead and give me athletics.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Just as it's stated, before Ellery comes on her way down, I'm going to move out of the way in case she falls.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to call down, if I fall, Ball, I expect you to catch me. Oh, that's an 18.
18, okay. Yeah, you slide down, no problem, twisting around the rope. Using your legs to kind of slow down your descent. You get down, no problem.
I'll go next.
Okay, athletics for you. And Ball, as you kind of push your sense out beyond into the darkness, you don't sense any presence of any sort of dark or foreign entity. Not here. Not yet.
Ball, same thing. If I fall, I expect you to catch me.
You see Ball kind of like sigh and then go stand by the rope.
Okay. Yeah, you probably weren't ready if Ellery fell because you were sensing the darkness, but now
13.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah. Not as graceful as Ball or Ellery, but yeah, you get down, no problem. That leaves Kalvyn. Okay, athletics.
No, Kalvyn gestures to the rope for Meli. So,
okay.
After you.
I guess I'll climb down.
Okay, athletics for Meli.
You sure you don't want to teleport down?
I wish I could do it. What was it, sorry?
Athletics.
There's nothing better than a liberal use of Dimension Door.
Oh, okay. 18.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Slide down, no problem.
Y'all showing me up.
Yeah. No, you get down to the bottom. And Kalvyn?
That's a 15.
Yeah, without problem. You descend as well. Finally, all of y'all get down to the bottom of this pit. You can tell, just as you start to move around a little bit, using the torch to stretch out the light, you can see the diameter of this room is maybe 40-ish feet, maybe 50, about 60 foot down. And it's not a perfect circle, but it's a near perfect circle. Of stone, mostly moss and dirt covered stone, with a bit of snow that's fallen in through the hole in the ceiling. There's otherwise no cracks or tunnels. There's just one archway that looks like it may have been natural at some point, but looks like it may have been carved at least to some degree to hollow it out. There's a tunnel towards the north side of this pit.
I look around at the bodies, and then I look at Ball, and I say, what the fuck happened here?
I second that.
They were hungry, but I'm not food.
So you already knew.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you brought us down anyway?
I want to explore.
If Ball can take on 3 by himself, I'm sure we'll be mostly fine.
Sure, it's just that I don't have any spells left.
Right. I've got a couple left.
Well, Amsen will have to save the day then.
Yeah, sure.
Yikes.
As you're kind of having this conversation and sticking around, you can tell if you stick around for too long, this smell is going to cause you to be nauseous and vomit. You all can get the look of these 3 bodies. One seems mostly intact besides a few slash marks as it's becoming slowly dissolving. The other 2, it looks like there maybe were bodies there, but it's been torn to pieces and dragged off further in down this tunnel, which you can't see far into.
I have a few sticks of incense. I'm going to light at least 2 of them.
Okay.
Can we inspect or at least check over the body that isn't picked over and see what the significant differences that may have
Yeah,
prevented it from being eaten, I'm assuming.
absolutely. If you're going to stick around to do that, give me Constitution saves at advantage because of the incense.
All right. I'll help out Kalvyn.
I rolled a 19 and a natural 20.
I rolled a 17.
For con save, I got dirty 20.
16 for Ball.
And Meli?
I got a natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, so with the smell of the incense kind of burns away some of the rotten flesh, and it seems the cool winter has kind of, the coolness has kept it from dissolving into nasty mush as hot weather might do. It doesn't smell good, but you deal with it enough to get close enough to the bodies. And whoever is going to inspect the bodies, give me an investigation check. And if someone's aiding you, just let me know.
I'll aid whoever.
Actually, I'll do it because my investigation's pretty good.
Okay, and then I'll help, I guess. I mean, with
Okay.
my
So maybe you roll with advantage.
Advantage. That's really good. That's worse. So that's a 23 total.
Okay. Looking over at it, you can see as far as the skin pattern goes on what's left of the other two, it's the same color. You can see tattoos, maybe brands of some sort, are on all three of the bodies. There's heavy slash marks from some sort of sword or greatsword, some sort of slashing weapon. Could be an axe, probably Ball's greatsword. As he mentioned, he saw these. The only noticeable difference is that this one, besides Ball's weapon marks, the only difference that seems to keep it from being torn apart is on its face there's a white palm print on the face. You can see the bone structure has a kind of elongated jaw that sticks out, and you see two tusks that come out from the lower jaw. Looks to be maybe of some half-orc descent, and there's a white handprint on the head.
I don't know the significance of this, but this one has a print on its head that we can really compare with the other two. Seems to be of orcish origin or some similar cousin to that. I don't know if that has any significance for it either.
Did we find anything else on the bodies? Or was it just body?
If there were any weapons, they've been taken. And as far as clothes or armor, there's no real armor. There's loincloths kind of wrapped around the lower body. There's not even any shoes to speak of. Very little on them.
Can I roll something to see if I recognize the significance of the markings?
Yeah, that's going to be give me a religion check.
Okay. I can do that. That is 17. No, it should be way more than that. That's, sorry, 19.
19, okay. You look over at it, and it's a pretty simple symbol, but you recognize it as a symbol of Cavern, the god that was said to have created the orcs. But it's not a symbol of the god themselves. You know the Cavern symbol is two axes crossed, but it is a ritual of Cavern. And you said 19?
Sorry, I was actually looking at the wrong stat. It was 17.
17, okay. And you know it's some sort of ritual dealing with the Temple of Cavern, the god of the orcs, known as the God-Blooded, Fury's Axe, Savage Scourge, and Bloodborne. You don't know which ritual it is, but you know it's some sort of ritual with a certain sect of the followers of Cavern.
This was some sort of holy something. These markings are for ritual purposes. I'm not sure what sort of ritual. And then I pass on the information about the god.
Maybe they were religiously suspicious about eating a follower of this deity.
I wonder if the eating people in general was some sort of religious thing.
Perhaps. That's always a good guess.
Some people think you can get powers from eating the dead, your vanquished foes. You can get their strength or speed or whatever. So maybe it's something like that for these people.
We should probably get out of this immediate area while the incense is still there.
I'm in favor of that plan.
I'll step up to kind of lead them out since I have some sense of where to go.
Okay.
So torch in hand, I think I'll draw my sword. I know it's a two-handed sword. Can I walk around with it in one hand? And then
yeah, you can. You can't effectively swing with it, but yeah, you can certainly hold it in one hand.
Okay. So I'll hold it in one hand and just in the other hand have my torch and kind of lead them the way that I went.
Okay. And there's only one tunnel that stretches out before you. The torchlight kind of illuminates the shadows before you as you begin to move forward. And the tunnel isn't super small. The rest of you can pretty much stand up straight, but with Ball nearing 10 feet tall, and with how broad his shoulders are, Ball, you almost have to turn sideways, bend your knees, and almost scoot. You're effectively considered squeezed in this position. It's hard for you to move around. You do move forward.
What are the practical, what are the effects of being squeezed? Let's say there was combat.
Yeah, you're considered one size category smaller for purposes of movement through tight areas, as you're kind of having to shift yourself to be able to fit. And every foot of movement costs double. So it's kind of like difficult terrain. You also have disadvantage on attacks and dex saves because it's hard to move, and attackers have advantage because you can't effectively dodge because you're kind of in this stuck position.
Okay. All right, thanks. Yeah, so I'll keep moving the way.
Were there multiple entries into this way? I guess we're going down a tunnel, or we just go walking into dark space?
There's the pit. It's a circular pit. The diameter is about 60 feet. There's the hole that you dropped in from the ceiling, and then there's one tunnelway which Ball is squeezing through. And that's looking around. That's the only entrance or exit besides the ceiling.
Okay. Then Kalvyn will, following Ball's lead, draw his weapons and follow behind.
Okay, so we have Ball moving, squeezing first. Kalvyn, you don't have to squeeze, you can fit. Okay. As Kalvyn, you come behind. Are the rest of you following as well, I assume?
Yeah, I'll follow next.
Yeah, I'll go last.
Okay. So then Ellery.
I'll let Meli go ahead of me, and then Vesper.
Okay. So as y'all kind of shift through, and movement, it takes a little while to get through this tunnel. You can't really tell how long it is, especially those who have gone before. As you can't see one past Ball, but also past Ball's torchlight. It's hard to effectively see as you're kind of shifting through. The tunnel doesn't seem to be too long. As Kalvyn, you can start to see it opening up maybe 50 feet down. As Ball, you start to kind of come loose as the light kind of expands into some sort of cavern. You're all still stuck in the tunnel, this dark tunnel, as you're moving forward. And
should we maybe take it a little quietly?
Not a bad idea.
Okay. If someone's trying to be quiet, you can certainly roll a stealth check.
We've entered a larger cavern now?
We're just getting towards the end of the tunnel. Ball, give me a perception check.
9.
Okay. Well, you can see the light kind of expanding into this cavern as you move forward through it. You're still kind of turned sideways, scraping the ceiling, trying to get through, but you can kind of start to see the end of the tunnel.
Okay. Is stealth check when squeezed at a disadvantage as well? Because it is a dex skill.
I don't think it technically is, but you're in non-stealthy.
Oh, you're right. So
it's disadvantage anyway.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'd probably say it's going to cause stealth disadvantage, but it doesn't matter in this case.
19 or 18.
18. Okay.
I got a 12.
Well,
I got a 9.
I got a nat 20.
Nat 20. Now, okay.
I'm loving this dice.
And Meli and Amsen, are y'all stealthy or just hanging in the back?
Yeah, I got a 21.
I got a 16.
Okay. Yeah, so kind of walking in this tunnel, tiptoeing as best you can. As Ball, you move to the end of it, peering out into the darkness. Will a 13 hit you?
No.
Okay. What about a 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and I don't know if they get advantage at this stage or if I'm out of it.
I got it. As you're kind of moving in, just squeezing towards the end of this tunnel, as you're just starting to be able to step out, you quickly hear as 3 javelins quickly stab into you, one into your thigh, one into your stomach, and one into your shoulder. Another one clatters against the stone right next to your head, shattering and splintering. I need everyone to go ahead and roll initiative, and you take 13 piercing damage, Paul.
Oh boy.
All right. Mark that down. Good start.
It's a dirty 20 on initiative.
Okay.
18 for me.
Would y'all mind typing it for me?
Yeah.
So I can get all of these.
So 10 total for me.
Awesome. All right, so as you are squeezing through, you suddenly hear these quick clattering of wood against stone and hear yelp of pain from Ball as you see him vibrating at the front, the torchlight shifting. And Vesper, you're up first here. You're towards the back of the line, and you can kind of see Ball in the distance. It's hard to tell.
I think even with how badly that hit me, I'd say there's a bit more than a yelp of pain. I think Ball would be especially with it being in a cave, you probably hear the echo of Ball unexpectedly being hit.
Okay, so with a roar of pain shaking the walls, you hear Ball of the head.
I have. Oh god, I'm so far back.
You can squeeze by people as difficult terrain in this very narrow tunnel. This can be hard to get too far up.
I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on this person. I can just kind of barely see it here.
Which one?
This person here. I can just barely see them around Ball, I'm guessing.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
He's blocking a large amount of that tunnel.
7.
7. Yeah, you can't really tell. Kind of Ball's taking up the entirety of the tunnel.
We can get up next to Ellery, I think. Can I? Okay, so on my map I can see 2 and just a corner of this person. Should I?
I'll say you can probably see number 2, just barely past Ball, since he's closer and he's in the light of Ball.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on him then.
Dex save?
Oh, I got it.
7.
That will not do it. But for 1 radiant damage.
All right. And as a burst of divine radiant energy crashes down upon the guy, he tries to duck out of the way, and it skins upon his shoulder, burns some of the skin. As you see, Ball, you can see them, as you've seen them before, these gray-skinned humanoids with white tattoos painted on their faces and their bodies. That will bring us up to Meli.
Is there any way I can hit any of them from how far back I am?
Ball's blocking most of the view, as well as a few of your other friends. It's very difficult to see from where you are. You probably have to shift through people up ahead. I'd say you can shift through someone's space as difficult terrain, but everything in this tunnel is going to be difficult terrain. It's just too narrow.
I'll stay back and hold my action until I have a clear shot.
Okay, I'm just going to action. Got it. Okay. You're going to hold a cantrip spell, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ray Frost.
Okay, so you hold up as frost energy coalesces in your hand. That will bring us up to Ellery. You're stuck in this tunnel. A Vesper right beside you. Ball is kind of pinned at the very end of the tunnel. You can hear movement on the other side of it.
Okay, so I can see 2 of them, but I imagine that's going to be hard to hit any of them from where I am.
Yeah, you have Kalvyn and Ball in front of you.
So it's a little bit hard to tell with the way this is drawn. Is there room for me to move up next to Kalvyn?
Yeah, it'd be difficult terrain. You have to kind of squeeze, but you can move next to him.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. And, okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and try to cast Firebolt at the one that I can see kind of up to the northeast.
Okay, ball's kind of in the way. I'll say you can try it at disadvantage.
Okay. That's not... Oh, yeah, that's even better. That would be an 8 total.
Okay, so you try to squeeze the flames around Ball, but he's taking up most of the tunnel. You do manage to get it around him without hitting him, but the fireball just moves forward and slams into the ceiling behind this creature. The light briefly does light up that tunnel. You can see it's about maybe a little smaller than the pit you came from.
And I'm going to call out, I've seen 4 of them. And end my turn there.
Okay. And as you do, this creature's going to step up, drawing a spear from his side. At advantage, because Ball's stuck still. No, that's a 7. As he tries to jab you with the spear, it jams into your armor, Ball, but it's not able to pierce through. You just kind of flex and he withdraws it. And that will bring us up to Kalvyn.
Okay, it looks like I moved up to here. That's about not there. That's about as far as I can get. If I'm using the double space.
Yeah, you'd have to squeeze by Ball. You can barely do it, but you'd be able to get through his space and enter out of the tunnel, where you can see several of these Ghula ready with their spears.
Awesome. Okay, I am going to, as a bonus action, incite my right of the flame on my my hunter sword. Make sure, and then I guess take the dodge action.
Okay. What does it look like as you invoke the right? Do you drag your palm along the blade?
What he's going to do is he's going to grab his other blade, his secondary, his katana, and he's going to rub the serrated edge across the wrist of the blade that's holding that katana. And as he draws the serrated edge across that, and it lights in the flames, is when he pulls the other sword and takes up a defensive, like, come at me, bro, stance.
Okay. So drawing those blades, and the area just around you is very slightly illuminated by the flaming blade as you prepare for an attack. And that will bring us up to this guy. You see one step forward, kind of out of the shadows, coming forth into the light, and running straight up to you. All right. Jabbing forth with a spear towards you, you, without hesitation, you almost, in sort of an aggressive parry move, you quickly meet the spear and knock it back to the side before he's able to get it close to hitting you. And we'll bring us up to this guy who's going to step up right next to you, Kalvyn. You notice with 2 of them now on you, they're beginning to swarm on you, and it's harder to defend yourself from more than just one of them. So that's only a 9 as this one jabs its weapon in your direction, the spear, quickly able to parry it away with your hunter's sword. And that will bring us up to Ball.
So I'm not sure, if my movement is halved here, can I physically get out of here as a larger person?
You would normally be able to move through Kalvyn's space, but you can't move through the space of enemy creatures. You could possibly move forth and grab one and try to grapple and push them.
Yeah. Can I do that? I want to grapple this blue one and just try to, grab him and push him back while I squeeze myself out of there.
Yeah, the left or right one?
The one on the left.
Okay, so yeah, you come out of the tunnel and you're flanked on the left and the right of one of these Ghula, and you see Kalvyn is taking on 2 of them to the right, and you said you're going for the left?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check as you try to grab him and push him backwards.
Is this still at disadvantage?
Let's see, no, this is strength-based.
Okay. 18?
Yes, you easily grab him and you have him grappled. He tries to fight you off. Your massive arm kind of wrap around his neck. You're able to push him back.
Okay. Strength?
Do you want to move into that space besides Kalvyn?
Yeah, I think I might be taking attack of opportunity here, but I think that's what I'll be doing anyway.
Okay. So yeah, you can push him back. We'll say you take one attack from number 3 here. No. Yeah, he jabs his spear at you, but he's interlocked with Kalvyn, who's able to kind of help parry that attack away as you push yourself out.
Okay, and then I guess with my remaining movement, I'll just move further square up just to kind of establish myself in this room.
Okay, so yeah, moving forward, surrounded by 3 at this point, next to Kalvyn. And that will bring us up to Amsen.
All right.
You can start to see ahead of the tunnel as Ball has made his way out of it, kind of clearing out. You can see a cavern. And actually, Meli, you kind of have sort of some clear shots if you wanted to take your action. Since you're holding it.
Can I shoot the one that's, like, because Kalvyn's kind of in the way, but can I shoot that one, or would that not hit?
The red one, or?
The red one, because that's the only one I can really see.
Yeah, I'll say that one would be at disadvantage unless you move forward and attack a different one. But yeah, you could attack that one at disadvantage.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
12?
A 12 will just barely miss.
Okay.
Yeah, the firebolt heads right over Kalvyn's shoulder as you see the creature kind of look and wince at the bright light, ducking under it as the flaming, or it was a frostbolt, flies over his head.
Sorry, Cavern.
And now Amsen. So Amsen, you're kind of midway through the tunnel. You can see as Ball and Kalvyn have fought their way out of the tunnel into the cavern, surrounded, being swarmed by these tribal Ghula. What would you like to do?
All right. Can I? There's a little bit of room here. Can I squeeze past everybody? Kind of.
Yeah, it'd be difficult terrain to get through. Get through Meli, and then difficult to get by Vesper and Ellery. It's a pretty narrow tunnel, but once you get past them, it would open up.
Okay, so I can maximum move 15 up, then, right there. Okay. I will cast Healing Word on Ball, because he needs it. Oh, hey! That's a big ol' 7.
Nice. Thank you. You definitely did need that.
I'm gonna use my last inspiration, I think, because there's a lot of people there. Sure, why not? I'll inspire Kalvyn, and I'm gonna sing. I remember when you killed that fiend. She didn't know what she had coming. The outlook was grim. That means you're powerful. That means you're powerful. That means you're powerful. Honestly.
Nice.
Cavern will look back and sheepishly.
Feeling inspired by the words that echo across the tunnel and the chamber ahead, resolving your resolve to fight. As some of the words bounce off of Ball and your wounds, healing them up just a bit. I will bring us up to this guy who's going to step up here. As a third Ghula steps up to you, Kalvyn. There's 3 are now around you. That is going to be a 13 to hit.
That just misses.
Okay, striking forward, you're in your stance, and that's the only reason you're able to quickly parrying off attacks from multiple entities. And this one is going to 21 to hit Ball.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
You take, I rolled that wrong, 8 piercing damage.
Ouch.
As while you're fending off the attacks from 2 of them, a third one comes in with a spear driving it into your back. And that will bring us up to the top of the round, Vesper. And you see Ball and Kalvyn being surrounded and swarmed by these entities as you're still in the tunnel.
Have any of the ones around Kalvyn taken damage?
You know the one that you injured.
Okay.
That just barely took some searing radiant damage.
I'm gonna aim at that one and I'm gonna toll the dead. So it needs to make a wisdom save.
Is that okay, so it's a save, alright.
Yeah.
Not great on him. That is a 7.
That will not do it. So that's a D12 because I already damaged them. That is 9 necrotic damage.
Yeah. All right, so as you cast the spell, a toll bell rings out in the vicinity of this entity, and you see suddenly its already skinny and gaunt form sucks in. You can see the bone almost hitting and begin to pierce through the flesh. You can see he's now bending over, doubled over, still standing, but just barely.
My turn.
All right, you going to stay there?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll bring us up to Meli. You're still kind of in this tunnel. You're close towards the end, the cavern.
Am I able to make a shot from here, or do I need to move forward?
It'd be at a heavy penalty. You'd be firing around Amsen, Ellery, and probably Kalvyn, depending on who you're aiming at.
To get in front of them, that's just difficult terrain, isn't it?
Yeah, to go by Vesper and to go through Amsen, it would be difficult terrain. Because the tunnel's pretty narrow. It's really only wide enough for one person.
Yeah, I'll do that then. I'll edge to, here.
Yeah, see, that's 25. You would have 5 more.
25?
Yeah, you'd have 5 more if you wanted to move a little bit, but otherwise you could take a shot on some of these.
I'll take a shot from here, because I don't want to get too far forward.
Okay, there's 3 around Kalvyn. You can kind of hear a few more to the left. Which one do you want to aim at?
This one here.
Okay, he's going to have a little cover bonus, but not much.
23?
Oh, yeah, that'll hit. Is this with the frost?
Yes.
Okay, so conjuring up a ball of frost in your hand, you release a ray forward, weaving it between Kalvyn and the stone wall that the Ghula is pressed up against, slamming into him.
So that's 7 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 foot.
Wow. So as it slams into his stomach, almost like an icicle jabbing into it, and the weight of him has him limping over as the ice kind of spreads upon his body, seeming to slow him down. And is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right, and that'll bring us up to Ellery.
Shit. I am going to push myself past Meli, which up to here. And then I will cast Acid Splash at the 2 that are next to Ball.
Okay. And is that a dex save?
Yes.
Okay. 13 and a 4.
Okay, so the 13 makes it, but the 4 does not. So that is 5 damage for the one that didn't make it.
Okay. So you conjure up a bubble of acid, tossing it forward as it explodes in acid energy, burning into the stone and moss on the ground. One of them is able to duck out of the way. The other one, it lands on their back as they're facing Ball, scalding the back of their skin as the acid drips down, dissolving into bone and flesh along the way. And you guys stay there?
Yeah, I should probably stay where I am.
Okay. And that brings us up to the acid-scalded one just behind Ball, who's going to withdraw the spear from Ball's back and attempt to drive it in once more. 13 to hit, Ball.
That won't hit.
Okay, so he tries to jab it in again, but this time, Ball, you swing around, you're ready for him. As you turn to meet him, knocking the spear out of his hands. And we'll bring this up to Kalvyn. There's 3 of them surrounding you.
Okay, so have Ellery and... No, Ellery didn't do it, but Meli and Vesper, have they been hitting number 3, or have they been hitting 2 and 3 separately?
You can see number 3 has an icicle stuck in his stomach, and he's bent over. He's looking pretty dang rough. You can see number 2 is gaunt, and as you can see, the bones of his cheeks and some of the bones of his ribs are actually pressing through his flesh, and he looks like he's on death's door. The red one in front of you, he looks fine. He's a little more muscle-bound than the others. Not by much, but a little.
Okay, so going a little bit thematic here, let's say that Kalvyn kind of shifts to the side as the ice bolt comes in and hits number 3, and then he's going to, as number 3 is bent over, he's going to raise his flaming sword and kind of strike it downward across its face, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, as you're coming down, roll to hit.
Okay, that did not go in the box. That was it's high. It's a 24.
You're fine. Yeah, roll damage.
Just barely.
Yeah.
That's not. That's 6. That's 10. Well, okay, I should say that's 7 slashing damage and 3 fire damage.
Okay. You come down as the one with an icicle in his stomach is bent over, clutching at it, beginning to try to pull it out. And as he's bent over, you come down, slicing down upon its neck, simultaneously beheading the Ghula and searing the wound. A little bit of blood pushes through the sear a little bit and starts spurting out of its neck as the body falls to the ground. The head rolls on its feet.
And then with my second attack, I'm going to thrust forward with my katana.
Okay.
On number 2. At number 2, yeah.
Okay, striking forth with the blade.
That's dirty 20.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a d6 bite, so that's 7 slashing damage.
Yeah, you see this Ghula kind of look up, and you see in his eyes as he begins to flinch, like he's going to dodge, but then you see almost in his eyes as he gives up, realizing he's not going to make it out of this, as the sword jabs into his stomach. And you kind of just leave it there as he falls backwards slowly off of it, kind of clutching at the blade as blood kind of draws from his hands as well as he just falls flat on his back.
Okay, then can I shift to where the dead number 3 is?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you shift to the side, turning to face the last one right over there. All right. Kalvyn taking 2 out. That's going to bring us to the one that's right there next to you. I'm going to go for you. That's a 14 to hit. Kalvyn.
Oh, sorry. 14 just hits.
Yeah, as you take out 2 of his comrades, he's going to strike towards you. 5 piercing damage as he strikes towards you with his spear, driving it into your belt region, just kind of right at your right hip. And he is then going to shift 1 step back. And that's going to bring us up to dead and then up to ball.
So you can shift. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get a grasp on the shifting mechanic. Even if you shift out of way, you can shift away from somebody's range.
Yeah, you can only, instead of having whatever 30 feet movement, it's just 5 feet, but you don't take attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
So that's basically what it does. We're still testing it out. If it doesn't work, we'll just go back to normal rules as written. But he kind of shifts back away from you as you're standing on top of one dead body and right in front of another one. And that will bring us up to Ball.
Did Blue 1 have his turn yet?
Which one?
Blue number 1?
Yeah. He attacked you.
Okay. Right, okay. I don't think he did. Did he hit me? Because he was the one that was grappled, right?
He hit you the first time, but he didn't the second time. You knocked it away.
All right, okay. So I think I still have him grappled. Can I still cast Lay on Hands while I have one grappled, or?
I'll say to grapple him, you probably drop the torch.
Okay.
It's either your torch or your sword. So you have him with one hand and the greatsword in the other. So you'd have to drop one of them to be able to lay on hands yourself.
Okay. I think I'll stop grappling him and then I'll use Lay on Hands on myself. For 4 points of healing.
Okay, so you release him, putting your hand to your chest, and some of your wounds heal up.
And I'll 5-foot shift upwards.
Okay, you 5-foot shift there. And unless that's it, unless there's something else that brings us up to Amsen, still in the tunnel. You see Kalvyn has taken out 2, and there's now 3 the remaining ones starting to surround the ball.
Well, since it's wide open, I'm going to take out my hand crossbow and shoot Red. The big burly dude.
Okay. Yeah, make an attack roll.
All right. Hey, 21.
That'll hit.
Okay, that's a 1d6 plus 2 piercing. 3. Minimum.
Nice. Something. Okay, so you pull the crossbow up, launching it forward, releasing it as it sticks into his left shoulder as he's facing Ball, not really paying attention to you. As he kind of snarls over looking at you and says something in y'all's direction. In a language I don't think anyone speaks. Does anyone speak something with deep? Didn't think so. Okay. A language you don't understand, a strange foreign guttural sound. And was there anything else for you, Amsen?
How is Ball looking right now?
Not super great. He's not imminently dying, but he's not super great.
Okay, what about Kalvyn?
I think Kalvyn's fine.
Yeah, the only damage I've taken is from my right. No, that's not. No, I've taken 5. Excuse me. But I'm still pretty solid.
Okay. I'll hold my last healing word. I'll just wait on that. I think I'll just stay there.
Okay, just gonna hold there.
Yeah, I'll finish my
shot that one. Awesome, and that will bring us up to dead guy. So we'll skip him, and that'll bring us up to this guy, who's actually going to shift up, and then is going to go to the ball. No, that's only a 6. Even if as Ball, you're surrounded by 3 of them, you're quickly able to turn around using your free hand to knock one spear away as you kind of take your greatsword in 2 hands, the flaming torch on the ground still illuminating the area. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
Alright, so I can go 5, 10, or I'm sorry, 20, 25 or 30 here.
Where were you? Right here?
1 up.
Okay, so that's 10.
No, yeah.
To get there.
Okay. I'll hang out here.
There.
And Red has already taken damage, so I will toll the dead.
Okay, wisdom save?
Yes.
That is a 10.
No, that's not going to do it. So 6 necrotic damage.
Okay. And as a bell rings out in the vicinity of him, you can see the bolt actually, his shoulder falls out as you see a festering wound begin to spread from that shoulder, covering a good significant portion of his arm on that side.
Okay, that's I should have scoot out of everyone's place. So I'm 20.
Yeah, so 20 to get there.
Okay, I'm going to just step up next to Kalvyn and.
Okay. So step out, just getting out on the other side of the tunnel and entering into the cavern. That'll bring us up to Meli, just at the edge of the tunnel.
Going to do that. If I'm there, can I shoot this way at him?
Yeah. He'll have a small cover bonus, but not much. Just since Ellery and Vesper are right there, but you can pretty easily weave it through them.
Okay. 17?
Oh yeah, that'll hit.
Ray of Frost.
Okay. So ray of icy energy between Ellery and Vesper, slamming it into him.
It's 3 damage.
3 damage, okay. And it almost knocks him back about half a step as it slams into a center of mass, and you can see his wounds are starting to be covered in ice as he's very slowly trying to break free of the icy covering with his spear to try and attack. And that will bring us up to Ellery, right at the edge of the tunnel. See Ball surrounded by 3 of them, Kalvyn standing over 2 of the dead.
I am going to swear loudly in Orcish and sort of jump away from Meli towards number 1, so that I'm right up next to him. And I will cast Shocking Grasp.
Okay. And is that an attack roll?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a 12.
Just barely hits.
Alright. For 5 damage.
Okay. And as you cast this spell, is it lightning energy that erupts out of your fingers and wraps around him like lightning hands, or is it more of a whip? What does it look like as you cast this spell?
I think it kind of radiates out from my fingertips.
Okay. So you put your fingertips up as lightning energy radiates from your fingertips, grabbing into his form. He tries to get out of the way, but he's not quick enough, still held in place partially by the ice. As you grab him, the lightning energy slams him face first into the ground, unmoving.
All right.
And you want to see there?
I think I'm going to move up a little bit further, to right over him, basically.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Kalvyn.
Okay. Kalvyn is going to think martial arts movie, flourish his cape in a surprisingly silent manner, even though it is scale armor and doesn't make too many creaking noises. He's going to kind of run to the right and then just come at this guy from an angle.
Okay,
this red number. Yeah, and then just come charging at him with his head down, so that the dire wolf is kind of staring him in the face, and then right as he gets to him, just kind of shove both swords into him.
Okay, make an attack roll at advantage because you and Ball have him flanked.
Oh, that's not great. 14.
That will hit.
Okay. That is, that is 9 slashing and 4 fire.
Okay, and were you aiming towards his stomach?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so charging around, rushing forward, he's distracted by Ball as he turns around hearing your footsteps, just in time to see the dire wolf hood kind of over your head as you drive these two blades into his stomach, lifting him up into the air. The flames of his blood igniting as you release him, falling onto his back. The blood pooling out from him, unmoving.
Okay, I guess how much more is that?
Probably 15.
Okay, then I'm going to use the rest to, I guess, get to right here.
You could get one over to the left, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so moving over towards the last remaining one. And that will bring us up to the guy you just killed, and then to Ball. With only one remaining, as Kalvyn has carved through 3 of them, and Ellery's taken one out herself.
I want to try to, grapple this one.
Okay, certainly. Yeah, make an athletics check.
9.
9, okay. This time you go to grab at him, releasing one hand from the great sword. And by the time it took to move your hand in that direction, he's already twisted and kind of parries your wrist away with his spear.
And then I want to say to him, in common, just be like, stop fighting. And I think I'll end my turn there.
Okay. All right. So you say something to the creature who's covered in blood from the violence around, and that will bring us up to Amsen. You see 4 of them are dead on the ground, with one remaining next to Ball.
Is that guy grappled by Ball?
He's not. Ball tried to grab at him, but he swatted his wrist away with his spear.
Okay. So that's 5. I would assume that's an extra one squeezing past Meli.
That'd be 15 feet to get there. Okay, then 15, after that,
20. So I'll take 20 to get out into the cave area.
Yeah.
If I stand right in between Ellery and Ball, will I be able to see that guy clearly?
He'll have a little bit of a cover bonus, but you could attempt to try to hit him.
Okay. What about What about right now?
Where you are, he'll still have a bit of a cover bonus between Ball and Ellery.
Okay. I'll shoot him with my hand crossbow then.
Okay.
Just here. I'm going to stay back a little bit.
Okay.
That is 11.
Not quite enough. You try to shoot through, but trying to weave it between Ellery and Ball makes a shot difficult, and he's able to kind of duck around to where you can't quite see him beyond Ball's massive form.
Okay, then I'll use the last little bit of my movement to move ahead of Vesper towards Cavern. in between Vesper and Ball there.
Okay, so yeah, you shift around to the right, going around Ball. We'll bring this up to him, surveying the situation, looking around. He's going to quickly drop his spear, or actually, he's not. He's just going to take off running. So, Ball, you get an attack of opportunity.
Is there a way to do like a non-lethal?
Yeah, you could try to hit him.
Actually, I can grapple as an option. Right?
Yeah, you can also replace an attack with a grapple if you want to try to grapple him.
Yeah, can I try that again?
Yeah. Athletics check.
Nat 20.
So he begins to try to run away, and you grab him by the back of the neck and kind of pull him back in position. With his action, he's going to try to break it. Make it another athletics check.
I'd like to reuse my nat 20. Close enough.
Okay, so he tries to bring his wrist down upon yours to try to break your grip, but he's unable to, and he's just stuck there, wiggling for the rest of his turn, unable to move. That will bring us up to Vesper, as you see 4 of the dead and 1 being held currently by Ball. He still has a spear in hand, and he looks mostly okay, unwounded. The blood on him isn't his own, you can tell, but he's currently grappled by Ball.
I'm going to move up next to Ball and Ellery, and I'm going to hold Toll the Dead if he tries to fuck with Ball, but it seems like Ball wants him alive, so I'll
okay.
hold off
So you
for
just prepare yourself in case it's needed. That'll bring us up to Meli at the mouth of the cave entering into the cavern. There seems to be just one remaining. It's hard to see him, but Ball has him.
I'm just going to hold a spell as well, just in case.
Okay, so holding just in case. Ellery?
I'm going to move up to the left a little bit and also hold Firebolt in case he tries to attack Ball again.
Okay, and that'll bring us up to Kalvyn.
If I read my movement correctly, I could get to right there by going around at 30 feet.
Yeah, you kind of run around, staying out of his range, coming up behind him.
Okay. And I will, I guess, put my blades out at him for when, aggression continues, and kind of, I guess, shout to Ball, what are we doing with this guy?
Okay. As Kalvyn,
can I respond there?
Yeah, and as Kalvyn yells this out, Ball, you notice this individual, this Ghula, looking around and seeing 3 individuals with arcane magic pulled in their hands, ready to release. Kalvyn behind them and you holding him in the front, and he stops struggling and he drops the spear. You see him start to almost whisper these words. He's dropped his spear, though.
Do I understand any of the words? Like, do they sound like anything I might recognize?
You've never heard this language before. It's foreign and guttural and strange. Almost sounds like someone talking backwards. It's really weird.
I'll look to the party members and ask if, do you understand him?
Shakes head.
Unless it's Orcish, Elvish, or Infernal.
I don't think anyone's heard this language before.
It's American. He's got a big Texas accent.
Does he look like he's casting a spell? Or is he just chatting?
No. You know enough to tell he's not casting anything.
Okay.
Can I try Primordial, maybe, and just kind of ask him, can you understand me?
He kind of looks over at you, doesn't seem to respond.
All
And
you have to do is nod.
as you're closer to these, all of you can now notice like their eyes are just pitch black. There's no iris or pupil, it's just pitch black, the entirety of their eyes, as he kind of looks over at you. Just kind of heavy breathing, covered in splattered blood of his comrades.
What are we doing
Giant?
here?
I just did the same thing in Giant.
He doesn't respond.
Maybe to Vesper, I'll respond in Giant and say, I don't want to have to kill another one for no reason.
I'll talk back to him in Giant. Why are we here? What are we doing with this guy? You're the one who wanted to go on this adventure.
Well,
I wanted to explore the cave.
I gesture around.
Okay, and as you do gesture around and kind of look at the cave, just kind of a quick cursory glance, you can see to the left, on the map where you see those jagged lines, there's sort of a crack at the bottom. You'd have to get on your stomach to crawl under, but there is some sort of crack, and you can't really tell where it goes. Ahead of you, you see there's some water, a pool of water, and to the right, you see two cracks in the walls, both very narrow.
Do I recognize that this is as far as I got him last time? Is that right?
This is as far as you got last time when 3 set upon you.
So, what are we doing with this guy?
Can we let him go?
I don't know if that's wise.
He'll probably tell the rest of his people about us, which is, in our case, a terrible thing.
Maybe we keep him quiet.
Does anybody have any rope to tie him down with?
Seems like a waste of rope.
What do you have in mind, Kalvyn?
We had no problem killing the rest of them.
They were attacking us. This one isn't.
Was
anymore.
attacking us as well.
But he's not.
It still poses a threat.
He's surrendered now, though.
And if we let him go, he will bring more.
I'm not saying we let him go, I'm just saying we don't have to kill him in cold blood. He can't even defend himself right now. He'll be alright.
You can see the individual is he was struggling a little bit, just kind of every couple of seconds just testing Ball's grapple and just trying to do a quick jerk to the side, but Ball's kind of kept him in place. And he kind of at this moment kind of stops fighting and just kind of puts his hand by his side and kind of bows his head, and he starts repeating this strange phrase, gotta sing, gotta sis, gotta sing, gotta sis, gotta sing, gotta sis. He's repeating this phrase over and over, quickly, eyes closed, head bowed.
Can't tell me that's good.
Can I detect poison and disease and see if, if this is just this is just how these people are, or this is some kind of a sickness?
I was going to ask if I could roll an insight check on him. Actually, I was going to try to use my empathic ability.
Ball, make an insight check, and I don't remember how does your empathic ability work?
Says you can use your action to try to get an uncanny insight about one humanoid you can see within 30 feet. I make an insight check contested by the target's deception check. If you succeed, you have advantages on attack rolls and ability checks against the target until the end of your turn.
Okay, make an insight check. I'll say at advantage.
You've still got inspiration if you want it. Kalvyn.
And
I
you want
rolled a
me to do
natural 20, so
Okay, good job.
I love this dice. My bronze dragon dice.
Ball, as you kind of try to sense something on him, you do sense something disease-like, though it's not any disease you've encountered before. It seems unnatural, and it doesn't seem entirely negative. It doesn't seem to be wearing on him like some other diseases might, but he's affected by something. And Kalvyn, what did you roll?
Straight up nat 20.
Nat 20? Okay. He's praying with a passion and a fury. You don't know to who, but you can tell he believes full-heartedly in whatever he's praying to.
Is there any way I could get a sense of if it's praying for to live or praying to smite his foes?
Because you don't know the language, it's hard to get exact read, but with that natural 20, you can tell he's not going to go quietly. You can see as he's repeating this phrase, he's getting louder and louder, repeating it louder and louder, quicker and quicker. Gotta see, gotta see, gotta see, gotta see, gotta see, gotta see. He's repeating it.
Make a call here.
He's just kind of starting to rock back and forth.
Alvin's going to tense up to strike.
I think Ball's going to do that thing where it's be quiet. Be quiet. And tries to put his hand on his mouth.
Okay. All right. You can see just as you try to reach forward towards his mouth, he suddenly tries to jerk off to the side, trying to shift out of Ball's grasp. Kalvyn, you said anyone that's holding an action to attack can choose to strike or choose not to. But this is the moment that triggers.
Both attacks.
Okay. With advantage because you have them flanking.
Yeah, and I use my ability, so that's a 16 on the first.
That'll hit.
And not good. 11 on the second, but I'll use advantage or my inspiration to.
Okay.
It just makes it a 12. So no.
That'll just barely hit though. That second one.
It hits.
Yeah. So
okay.
They both hit.
Okay.
Hashtag inspiration.
Yeah. So that's 4 fire damage and 11 slashing damage.
Okay. And as the rest of you kind of have your spells prepared as well, as he tries to shift off to the side, just before he even breaks Ball's grasp, Kalvyn drives his 2 blades into his back as he kind of falls to the ground unmoving. You hear a clatter as he falls to the ground, as he's silenced as well.
I guess that's that question answered.
Can I get in there? I kind of want to, just look at his eye closer because it was all black.
Yeah.
And does it look, I don't know, like it's disease or like it's something arcane?
Make a nature check.
Oh god.
Turning him on his back.
Wouldn't be medicine?
You can try medicine.
I would like to try medicine because I'm trying to rule out medical shit. That's 21.
You think of various alchemical ingredients and other medicines that might affect the eyes, and nothing that you know medicinally would cause this in eyes. This isn't
like a sickness that I can think of either.
As far as sicknesses go, yeah, you can't tell if this is some sort of. There's no sickness that you're aware of that would cause this.
I'm gonna move down and start searching the one that I killed.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull one of the knives out of my sleeve, little ones, and I'm gonna pop the eye out if I can.
Nature check for popping the eye out. Investigation check for anybody that's searching the bodies.
Do any of the bodies? I'm sorry.
What was that?
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay. And then Kalvyn, what would you say?
Do any of them have the similar white handprint mark?
Quick cursory glance. No, they do have white tattoos, but not like the palm print you saw on the other one. You also do notice quickly that none of them have the orcus jaw. None have tusk. They all seem to be humanoid, or some sort of humanoids.
I got 15 on my investigation check.
Okay. Eller, you see a spear, basic loincloth. You see tattoos over his body. You don't see, there's no coins, there's no other weapons even. There's nothing else on him. You do notice as you're kind of searching over him, as you see Vesper's kind of got bowed down on top of this other one, pulling her knife out to go for the eye. And as she's kind of working on the orbital socket, you see the dead one that she's working on release something from his hand. You see a small tube releasing his hand that he was clutching onto.
That's the one that Vesper's looking at?
Yeah, the one that Vesper is trying to take the eye out of.
Okay, I'm gonna go up and pick that up.
Okay, you pick it up and it looks like a tiny bone. It looks like it's been maybe burnt in a fire. You're not sure, but it looks like a small bone about maybe 2 or 3 inches long, and it's kind of brown and black from being burnt. Just getting it nearby to where you can look at it, you can tell there's a smell on it, a very thick, musky smell.
Yeah. As soon as Vesper's done with the eye, I want to show it to her.
Okay. And Vesper, you kind of slowly work the knife around, cutting the flesh, and then cutting back the various nerves and other things that are holding the eye in place, getting out this perfectly spherical black eyeball.
Just kind of murmuring the names of the different muscles of them, trying to work around them.
And as Vesper and Ellery are working on that, the others, what are you guys doing?
Can I make it like I don't think Ball sees this happen. I'd like Ball to maybe, after he sees Kalvyn strike the guy down, Ball just kind of releases his grip and just kind of sighs, and then maybe walks up towards where the water is.
Okay.
And maybe while this is going on, Ball's just kind of investigating the water, just maybe running his sword through it and then maybe running his hand through it afterwards.
Yeah. You want to make either investigation or nature check?
Yeah, I think I'll do a nature check for this one.
Okay. Just kind of exploring the water. Seems pretty dark. You can move the torch over to see a little better.
That's a 7 anyway.
It's dark water, and there's a bit of a mineral smell to it, but it doesn't seem abnormal as far as you can tell. The pool doesn't look like it goes very far back before rock kind of takes over, but it does, just from moving it around, it's not a shallow pool. You can tell it goes back further than the rock wall would let you see, if that makes sense.
Okay. Can I taste some of the water?
Yeah. You just taste a little bit from your hand, and it does have a mineral taste, like a heavy water, but it doesn't taste poisonous or bad. It's not a good taste, like dusty water. Mm-hmm. That doesn't sting or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just continue to survey, like the geological area while the rest of the party does their thing.
Okay. So you're just kind of searching around.
Can I take a peek down these little crevices to the right here? Kind of to the right of all?
Yeah, give me investigation or perception.
Definitely investigation.
Okay.
So my perception sucks. That was a big ol' 7.
Big ol' 7, okay. Looking up at the one a bit to the north, it's kind of hard to tell how far it goes. These things are very narrow, the crack. You could maybe use the torch if you borrow it from Ball or light your own. You can tell the one to the north ends a little ways down, maybe 30, 40 feet. The bottom one, you can't tell how long it goes. You don't see an end to it. But that's about as far as you can tell. They're both very narrow, maybe a foot or two across. Looks like they widen a little bit, a little ways down. They're maybe 6 or 7 feet tall.
All right. Okay. I'll let everybody else know that this one seems to keep going. That there seems to be something back there, or at the very least, it's bigger than it looks.
Okay.
What bone Ellery is showing me?
Yeah, so Ellery shows you this darkened brown black bone. Looks like it's been burnt. Smells funny.
Is it smooth if I touch it? Does it feel like it's been carved at all?
You can just kind of going, feeling over it. Doesn't feel like it's maybe been carved.
Okay. Can I make like a religion check or something and see if it's got some sort of significance?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That is a 19.
Okay. Looking over it, there's symbols on the two ends that are kind of hard to see. You don't know what they mean. They're in a language or script you've never seen before. And without understanding the language, it's hard to tell whether they're religious in nature or not. But if Ellery lets you know where she found it, it may have been what he was clutching when he was seemingly praying in his final moments.
Do you want to hold on to this for now?
Sure. Might as well. I'll pocket it, I guess, and kind of wipe my knife clean and stick that in my sleeve again. And put the eye in, I don't know, something for my herbalism kit if I have a vial that'll fit it.
Okay. Yeah, you can probably find an empty vial, put it in there.
And I'm gonna go walk over to Ball.
Okay. You see Ball kind of tasting and investigating the water in this pool above.
I think it might be a bit tricky dealing with these people.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea.
Well, I don't know one way or the other, but you can't make friends with everybody.
But I don't have to kill everybody.
True. Are you okay?
Where do you think this water goes?
I don't know. Looking around, do I see any sign of a source?
A cursory glance, you don't see any running water immediately, and the water at your feet isn't moving. You could make an investigation check to further test that, but you don't immediately see anything.
Okay. Oh. That's That's a 3, so I don't think I notice anything.
Yeah, you don't immediately notice anything.
Does it feel cold, like winter cold water?
Touching it, yeah, it's cool water.
Like cool or like ice cold? Like, the way that water in a frozen lake would be cold.
There's none of the water is frozen, but it does feel like ice cold water.
Okay.
It is somewhat sheltered from the snow and the wind above, but it is still pretty cold down here. Kalvyn and Meli, are you guys doing anything in particular?
Just keeping an eye out, just in case somebody sneaks into a hole or something.
Make a perception check.
That's not terrible. It's a 14, so 18.
Okay. You hear something down the tunnel to the right that Amsen's looking down in the distance. It sounds like a rock falling, a small pebble or something. That's all you really hear, but otherwise it's silent.
Okay. I would definitely move over to him then, just to. He's my ward, so.
Okay, so you get over just in case. Meli, were you doing anything?
Nothing in particular.
Okay. Okay. So just in this cavern.
At this point, I guess, what time of day is it?
It's probably around noon. When you delve down in here, it hasn't been that much longer. Maybe 12:20.
Last time I was here, I didn't really have a chance to explore much besides, I guess, just seeing the water, more or less, right?
Yeah, you haven't really explored beyond this cavern before. You knew before that the water seemed to go further. You didn't know how deep or how far the water went. You didn't actually swim or anything before they attacked.
Okay. And as it is right now, I can't see how far back the water goes, is what you're saying.
No, you can't see.
Do torches float on water?
They would, but the water goes up to the top of the rock. So it would go.
Oh, right. Okay. I got it.
I don't need to breathe if you want me to do some diving.
If that's out of character, I don't know if that's a good idea since it's ice cold water and it's the middle of winter.
Okay.
I would totally love that. It's just, Ball would have probably done that by now if it wasn't for the whole freezing to death aspect.
Yeah, that's fair.
Was there something in particular you were hoping to find down here?
I don't think so.
Can I insight check and see if he's lying?
Sure.
If I can hear his conversation.
Yeah, it's a pretty small cavern.
Oh, that's awful. That's a 9.
Okay. Well, do you want to roll persuasion or deception?
Sure, I'll GM roll it to you.
Okay. So Meli kind of looking over, listening, looking at Ball's facial expressions as he's talking to Meli by the water. It doesn't seem like he's hiding anything. You seem Ball's a pretty straightforward, honest guy.
Okay.
I think just while I'm surveying the water, maybe I'll eventually make my way to the serrated edge on the left.
Yeah. It looks like there's a space if you got on your belly to squeeze through. You're not really sure how far it goes back or anything.
Okay. I think I'd like to just kind of I didn't get a chance to the last time I was here. But maybe with my torch, just get on my belly and try to look through.
Okay. Yeah, you get on your belly and use the torch and kind of look down a bit. Make a perception check for me. Trying to see how far back it goes.
13.
Okay. You immediately see there's something kind of in the center separating it into almost two paths. And you can see it only goes back maybe 30 feet or so. And you can tell there's a drop off that suddenly goes straight down. You can see a wall just beyond that. So maybe it goes 40 feet back on your belly. But at about 35 feet, there's a sudden drop down. You can't really see how far it goes or what's beyond that, just because you'd have to crawl up to it to really see.
And do I hear anything from that? When I was trying to peer through, did I hear anything accompanying what I saw?
with a 13. Because of how quiet it is, and since everyone's kind of being quiet, listening and looking, you do hear the drip of water. Very faint. Just kind of just a slow drip of water.
But no signs of itis. See, I would expect that because the last time I was here, there were 3, and now there were 5. That I know they came from somewhere. I don't hear any kind of signs of any further life.
Not from this direction. You hear the drip of water, and you hear kind of a like a little bit of water moving, almost like a wave maybe, before it goes away, but you don't hear any talking or movement or chatter, at least not in that direction. And
I know that I'm a big guy, but is this going to be another one of those squeeze things if I try to get through, or is it just going to be I'm on my belly and prone?
It would be squeezing, yeah, without how big you are.
Okay, I think for now I'll just kind of pull back out and just kind of sit and wait for everyone else to finish up what they're doing.
Okay. You're all kind of in this tavern. You've looked at the water and down this crack and tunnels to the right.
Can I try to squeeze into here and see further down?
Yeah. You can squeeze through, and you notice as you kind of get through 5, 10, 15 feet, you notice the ceiling kind of begins to open up, and it goes up from 7 foot to 10 to 15, and it looks like it continues the further you go down.
All right, I'll let, because Vesper is right there, I'll let her know what I'm doing, and then I'll just keep going until I can kind of see this really thin point.
Yeah, you can kind of
back.
You can basically stand where you are. Your shoulders are pretty close to the walls. You can basically stand where you are, but it does get very thin ahead where you have to squeeze. Make a perception check.
Okay. 4.
4, okay. Yeah, you can tell the ceiling continues to go up higher. And eventually, if you get close to that choke point, you can no longer see where the ceiling is. It's gone beyond your vision.
So it goes from narrow but wider and shorter to a lot taller and a lot narrower.
Yeah.
Okay. So once I get to this point, I think I'll just turn back, because it looks like there isn't much of a point in trying to squeeze through that itty-bitty tiny space.
Okay. You come out.
It's really, really small back there.
What if we went up?
Yeah. Yeah, it got higher. It got higher, but it got a lot more narrower. I don't want to get stuck in there. And I didn't hear anything anyways, so.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, that's why I came over here.
You want me to take a look inside then? I know you're a beefier guy than I am, but I think you can fit.
Kalvyn will look over at Paul, questioningly, what's the plan? What do we want to do? Do we want to keep exploring, or this is his excavation after all?
I think I'm too big to help you here.
Do you want me to go on?
How hurt does Kalvyn look?
Not bloody, but he's not super awesome. I mean, about a third down.
I think you should probably stay here.
How's Ball looking?
Doing?
I'm about 2/3 down.
Okay, I'll use my last spell slot to Healing Word Ball. That's another 7.
Nice.
I don't know, I think someone who's not as hurt should probably go ahead.
I'll go look at what Ball was crawling into then.
Okay, yeah, you can get on your stomach and you see it goes back maybe 35 feet before it drops off and you can't really see.
Okay.
If he points it out, you can hear that there's water dripping.
And I'm going to say to Ball, do you want me to go check out whatever's under there?
You see Ball kind of thinking.
I don't know what's there.
Well, yeah, that's the point in looking.
It's okay. I'll look. And then Ball will get down and try to do initiate doing the belly crawl.
Okay. Yeah, so you can flop on your stomach and start to crawl through. And anybody could go with him if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm going with him if he's going.
Okay. And,
is there enough room for me as well?
Yeah, it's pretty wide. You notice as you kind of get on your stomach and begin to crawl through, you can see where the trail is kind of seems to be split.
Yeah, if Ball's going, I'm absolutely right on his heels.
Okay, let's get you through too. As you're on your stomach, you can kind of see where the trails go left and right.
Is this just a wall that we see, or that I see, or is it the water continuing?
That's wall. Yeah, that's
okay.
stone wall. There's kind of a trail to the left and right.
Yeah, so I'll kind of keep pushing through here.
Okay. Yeah, and as you all kind of, whoever moves forward, you can eventually see crawling on your stomachs. It takes a while, dragging yourself along dust and across the moss. You get to the edge, and there is a crack. It goes down into pitch black. Between the torch and those of you who can see in the dark, at least to some degree, you can see down the drop, but you can't see the bottom. But you can hear water.
And when you say a crack, like this isn't like a human-sized crack. This is just a tiny little hole.
It's a semi-narrow crack, but you could probably fit into it. It might be squeezing for you a little bit. You actually might be able to go down it without squeezing. You'd be brushing up against both sides, but you could probably do it. The others could probably easily do it. You can see notches on the way down. They kind of stick out, little ledges. Some of them very narrow, some bigger than others.
Do these ledges suggest that it's been traversed before?
Make an investigation check.
I'll make that investigation check as well.
Okay.
9.
7.
You suck.
I know.
Look, and it doesn't look like anyone comes down here. You don't notice any footprints or really any signs that anyone comes down here.
But like, we definitely get the sense that it's. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine this. It's not like it's so small that it probably leads to nothing. It's just I just don't know what it leads to.
Yeah, you don't know what it leads to, other than hearing water dripping below. You can't really tell, but you could fit through it. It's a crack, maybe 60, 70 feet long, about anywhere from 5 to 10 feet wide in the widest spaces. It just goes down.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if Ball kind of gets the sense that the people behind him are expecting him to continue, then Ball will kind of, if it's like, you're in a line, people are anxiously waiting for you to kind of hurry up, then Ball will kind of start to make his descent.
Wait, how far down does that go? Ball.
Almost soon.
No, that's not what I asked you. That's not the right answer. No, I don't know if this is safe. We've already taken quite a beating.
I feel better.
Bald, I've got nothing left to make you feel better anymore.
The others are still back in the...
That's about it.
The others are still back in the other chamber.
Well, hypothetically, say you fall, hurt yourself or something. We can't pull you back up. You're huge and we're not strong people.
Very true.
I got the sense from Klaus that it's almost I'm too big to fall, and more just like I'll comfortably snuggle my way up and down.
You could slide past.
Or is that not quite accurate?
Not quite accurate. You could probably slide through.
So there is a non-zero chance that I can get stuck.
No. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to unless you're at the very end. Even then, you would just fall inward.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it's hard. I think for this, it's hard for me to picture it. If it looks particularly dangerous for Ball, then
it's like if you have an envelope and you open the envelope just a hair. It's like a very thin eye slit.
Okay. So, well, how about this? Just does it look like? Do I get a dangerous 5 from it, or is it just something that Ball's like? Yeah, it doesn't look as bad as.
Looks pretty dangerous.
Okay. If it looks like an unreasonable risk, then maybe Ball will be a bit more reluctant to go.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell because the light only goes so far. You don't know what's down there, just like you don't really know what's down any of the tunnels.
So I'll turn back and say, maybe we should check the other path.
I think that's a good idea. Then maybe have everybody talk together, decide where we want to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do all of y'all crawl out on your bellies from this area?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone's out.
Okay, so y'all crawl out. Meli and Kalvyn, were y'all doing anything particular besides waiting?
Kalvyn would awkwardly offer Meli some tea and, just talk about the weather and how things are going. It's been a while.
Yeah, I'll have a little catch up. I actually have to go in a minute, so I'll do the perception check first.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. And Meli, your last roll of the night?
Okay. It's an 8.
An 8, okay. As y'all two are just chatting it up, without any worry, really just waiting on the others to get back. Kalvyn, you're just kind of engrossed talking to her, and Meli, your eyes your brow furrows as you hear something, and you kind of look over Kalvyn's shoulder towards the water, and as you open your mouth to say something, a crackling purple, violet energy and blues explode from the stone wherever you have it on your pack, and you're suddenly sucked into this portal of arcane energy, and Meli is no longer there.
I think Kalvyn freaks the fuck out. He just starts screaming for Meli, where are you? And just starts like swinging his swords. I'll get you, you bastards! And then just starts swinging his swords wildly around the
Kalvyn, what happened?
They got
you
Meli.
lost Meli?
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on?
Where'd she go? Kalvyn.
But with that, I'm going to say goodnight, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
So, wait, was that like she saw something in the water and then before she could say anything, she teleported away, or the perception was her teleporting away?
Y'all were crawling out and didn't see it happen, but Kalvyn, as you were talking, you saw Meli, her brow furrow, and she started to point behind you, and she started to open her mouth to say something before some arcane energy swallowed her and disappeared.
Okay, if that's the case, then he's gonna go charging at the direction, assuming that's what attacked her, and just charge at that area where she was pointing and just like, yeah!
Okay, so you turn around and charge in that direction, in the pool of water, and you moving in that direction, you see ripples in the water, as if there's something there, but you don't see any entity.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'll stand over it and just kind of like try to look into it, I guess.
Okay, make a perception check.
Oh boy. That's not great. That's 9 plus something.
Okay. The water is kind of hard to see through the water. It's dark down here, and the water is definitely dirty. There's definitely a ripple here. There's something in the water, but you can't see anything.
Okay, I have a question regarding my Rite of Flame. Would dipping or throwing the sword in the, not throwing the sword, but plunging the sword into the water, that put out the fire? It is, I believe, considered magical, but I don't know if,
I'll say no, but I'll take a closer look at it. But for right now, no.
Would that help in seeing anything? Can I plunge it in there at the shadows or whatever?
Yeah, you can plunge it in and sisses and hisses as the water kind of quickly evaporates against the flames. The light from it is immediately not quite extinguished, but definitely lower than it was before. I'll say you can roll one more perception check. It's just going to be a straight check, but it's going to allow you to have one more roll, which you normally wouldn't be able to do.
17.
Okay. As you plunge it in there, you see very briefly movement. You see two shadowy limbs of something just flap quickly up under the water, going away from you, like something swimming.
Swimming away, though.
Away from you, yeah.
There's like a shelf under it that it's swimming past, or
yeah.
is it just...
Yeah, so the water, the pool of water is kind of sea level with the ground you're standing on, and then there's sort of a wall of rock, but it looks like the pool of water goes further beyond. But you can't tell visually how far it goes.
Okay, what Kalvyn is going to do is going to take a step back. He's going to breathe kind of heavily, real quick, holding his swords at his in front of him like he's going to attack something. He's like, "I'm coming, Meli!" And then he just jumps in the water.
Okay. So you dive into it, splashing into it, and immediately there's a brief shock that comes over your body as it is freezing cold. It is very cold water. You dive in sword first, swimming into the water, swimming beyond the rock. You continue to swim forward.
Yeah, I try to swim after.
Okay. Make an athletics check.
Do that. Hopefully, I'm going to use this one because that one has not been going great. That one did not go great. That is a 10.
Okay. Swimming forward, you can kind of see dust or something of this dirty water that's kind of pushed up in front of you, but you don't see any entity as you're kind of swimming forward with the weapons out. As soon as you get in there, whatever pool of water is large and it's expansive. It's not a small tunnel.
Oh, if we're still on me, I'll just keep swimming forward, I guess.
You're kind of swimming forward.
This is me. Okay, there's a lot of areas. And did I come from the south, or where did I come from?
You came from the south, and you kind of swam forward, looking around. You don't see any air pockets or anything like that.
I guess I'll go towards the left?
Okay.
Upper left? North? West?
Yeah, you swim up towards the left, swimming around.
Oh my.
Eventually see where there's a wall kind of very vaguely in the distance. It goes down below maybe 30 feet down, deepest in the very center where you came from. What's your constitution score?
It's not bad. It's a 16.
Okay. So that is 3. Okay. So you've, with swimming and looking around, you maybe have another minute or so. Maybe a minute and a half.
Okay, I just want to keep swimming forward, I guess. I mean, whatever I would consider forward to be, I don't know.
I'll say,
is there a path to the right?
Do you want to go to the right or left?
I'll go to the right. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Make a survival check, and we'll kind of take this off map and go theater of the mind.
I did not do this. It's a 7.
A 7. Okay. You're just kind of swimming, trying to follow along the wall. You can see there's 3 pillars that go from floor to ceiling in this room, and you haven't found an air pocket yet. You probably have another 3 minutes, or actually another minute and a half, we'll say. As you swim to the right. You don't see any exit or any tunnel.
Is it a wall or is it? Do I come across like an empty? Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that one. I'm going to swim along with the wall that's up top, and just swim along that wall.
Okay. So you swim along a little bit further, following along that wall to the top of you, heading to the right?
Yeah.
Okay. You swim along there, and you can eventually kind of see what looks like a tunnel in the distance.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I'm a little desperate here.
Okay, so swimming, and you kind of get into this tunnel. I'm going to leave you right there. So you get into this tunnel, you swim in, and you have maybe one turn left, and you go into this tunnel. It's not long. It's only maybe 15 feet, and it immediately stops. And you kind of look around, but you see the ceiling is much higher than it was before. It's either back or up.
Up, 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 up.
Okay, so you swim up. Make an athletics check.
Come on. Shit, that's a 12.
Okay. So you start to swim upwards, and as you get towards the top, you can feel the air escaping your lungs as the bubbles fall. You can kind of start to see the top, the rippling of the water as you come crashing out of the water. And as you get to the top, you can see there's maybe half a foot before stone hits again. And staring at the top, you see a dripping wet humanoid that kind of turns around, spear in hand.
Oh, I immediately go after this guy.
Okay. All right. Roll initiative for me.
Did you expect it to go this way, Klaus?
What's that?
Did you expect it to go this way, Klaus?
I did not. What'd you get, Michael?
6.
A 6. Okay. He's going to strike at you first. At advantage because you're basically prone. That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
That is 5 piercing damage. He just stabs you into the water. It kind of sinks into your shoulder.
Cool. Can I move up?
Yeah,
you can
use 10 feet to kind of crawl out.
Okay, and then I'll move up on this guy and hackety hack.
Okay.
My first attack is I think it's a 12.
12 will just hit.
And then the other one was a natural 13, so...
Both hit.
Okay, 19 total. Okay.
So you climb out of this natural well into this other secondary cavern. There's a wet humanoid right in front of you. Seems to have just got out of the water. He's just stabbed you with a spear.
11 slashing damage and 1 fire damage.
Okay, from one strike?
No, that's from both. From 2 attacks.
Okay, from quickly striking in. The first one cuts along his shoulder. The second one slits his throat, and he falls back dead.
I would like to catch my breath.
Okay. You take a few seconds to catch your breath. The rest of you guys, Kalvyn's been gone for maybe 3 minutes.
Did we hear Kalvyn scream?
No, not through all that water.
No,
also, you can make a perception check.
Before he dove in, he was all like... Because before he dove in, he was all like, Meli, I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, you would have heard that. I'm sorry, I thought you meant from his wounds. But yeah, you would have heard him say that and then dive into the water.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going after anyway.
Yeah, I think if it's been 3 minutes and no one's come out yet, then I think we're going.
I'm just going.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll join in as well.
Amsen, are you going as well?
I'm a terrible swimmer.
Someone's got to tell their story when we all drown in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. And I guess nobody's better suited for that than the bard. I'll leave you guys up to your adventure.
So you are going.
Amsen? We don't want to.
Amsen, are you staying?
I will stay, but I think what I'm going to do is do either one of you guys still here have a rope on you?
I do.
Okay. I'll take, if I can, I'll take your rope and I'll tie something decently heavy to it. Like, well, I've got
I've got my grappling hook.
Okay, so I'll take your grappling hook and my rope and I'll put it down into the water so that the pool of water that I'm standing above is marked for them so that they can see the rope and the grappling hook when they're swimming back.
Amsen, you're going to hold the rope out there with the grappling hook to give them something to see that they need to get out?
Yep. And I'll keep my rapier out and some vicious words on my lips.
Okay, so preparing yourself for attack. The rest of you that just jumped in the water, I put you on the map. Go ahead and take your full turn of movement in whatever direction you guys want to do. And as that's happening, as Kalvyn, you get your breath, you hear movement to the south into this cavern. This cavern's looks like maybe 20, 25 feet wide, and you're not sure how long. It goes down to the south.
Okay, I'm gonna, I guess, stealthily, slowly make my way along the wall, this wall right here. So okay. I guess it would go down. I don't know. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I have a flame. This is probably dumb, but I mean, I'll be as stealthy as possible, even though I have an open flame.
You can roll if you want to.
Yeah, that makes it sound like it's going to be really worthwhile. I will not, and I guess brace myself for certain death at this point. I don't know. Okay,
so you're going to take the dodge action effectively?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, defensive stance?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Can we see any kind of sign or disturbance in the water that might indicate which way he went?
Blood, possibly. He was wounded earlier.
Yeah, you saw some blood to the left. You might see a little bit floating ahead, forward.
This way?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I am going to that way.
What's your guys' con scores?
16 for ball.
Okay.
14.
12, okay. But I don't need air.
Okay. All right. So take one full turn of movement, basically, in whatever direction you want to. There's it's a murky water. There maybe is blood floating out in one direction. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay. And Kalvyn, this creature's going to go up. That's a 6 to hit as it tries to strike you with its spear.
6?
Yeah, it misses.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you. Oh my god, I wasn't sure if you were actually waiting.
As the second one comes up. This one is actually armored, bigger than the rest. And in his hand, he's carrying a heavy axe, massive and bearded. Looks iron and rusty, and he's going to go for you. And that is a 23 to hit.
You know it.
That is 9 slashing damage.
I am for out.
Okay, knocked out. Okay, so Kalvyn, you fall unconscious. The rest of you take a second turn of movement.
Can we dash?
Yeah, you can dash. And dash that last turn as well.
Okay. If we're here, then let's see, 10, 15, 20. See any more blood either way?
Looks like it maybe goes to the right.
Okay.
Just cursory glance.
15, 25, 30. So that would have been my dash from last time. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Which way now?
Looks like it continues. Okay. And so that's the end of your second turn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then back to the top, Kalvyn, death saving throw.
Okay, I just want to, for the record, just in case this might be incredibly helpful to the crew, as soon as I'm out, my flame goes out, so there's no more light.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Okay. All right.
I don't add anything to it, right? It's just a straight roll.
Just a straight roll. You're in Fate's hands.
Cool beans.
And crew, you guys swimming around, you see it kind of goes down maybe southeast.
And is that still signs of him going that way?
Yeah, but more east.
East through this passageway kind of thing?
You see if you can see a passageway, it seems in that direction.
Can I fit through this?
Yeah, it might be a little difficult, but because you're swimming, it's actually easier to move around.
Okay.
And are we still dashing?
Yeah, you guys can dash. I mean, that's up to you if you want to stop and do something, but otherwise you can dash if you want.
And that's the end of this turn.
Okay. Is that the end of Ellery and Vespers?
Yeah. Because I swam too far west and then I had to
I can get right up behind him.
Okay. All right. Kalvyn, another save.
I feel like I should switch dice, but I'm going to use the one that I have mentally associated with these kind of rolls. That's 12.
Okay. One save, one fail. As the rest of you guys are come into the passageway, and it looks like when you go just a little bit, the passageway is maybe 10 feet wide, 8 to 10 feet wide, goes up and curves to the left only about 20 feet, and then it dead ends. But then it goes straight up. You see a well kind of going straight up. You don't even see the top.
All right, well then up we go.
Okay. So from where you are, it's probably 30 or so feet. You can probably get to the surface of the water at the top with one turn, I'll say.
Okay.
And you kind of come up to the top. You can see there's maybe a half a foot ledge or so. Then you can see a cavern come out before you see a body of a Ghula on the ground dead, throat slit. And you see 3 others crowding around a body on the ground who you see to be Kalvyn bleeding out, blood pooling around him.
Fuck, Kalvyn!
As you see a armored, tattooed Ghula withdraw axe from Kalvyn's shoulder blade, his chest area.
Yeah, so can we, step out here?
Yeah.
That's your movement. If you want to, from here, you can either attack, spell, or dash if you want to. So it's your movement to get where you are.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
Wait, should we roll initiative? Because I don't think we did that yet.
Oh, yeah.
No, we didn't. I kind of did it as a group initiative. I did all of y'all at the same spot. So we're just going to keep that if you want to.
I'm going to dash, and I'm going to get to Kalvyn.
Okay, so you get up to Kalvyn.
I'll do the same, and I might dash different directions, so I'll go.
And I'm pulling out my rapier as I go.
Okay.
I'm about to get into stabby range.
I will just get out of the water, but stay at the edge, and cast Firebolt.
That would be all your movement, so you would have to dash to climb out of the water. It's all of your movement just to swim to the top.
Well, can I see well enough from where I am that I can just hurl?
It'd probably at disadvantage, and they'd have a little cover bonus, but you could try.
I'm going to go ahead and try it then.
Okay, disadvantage. Which one? The red one?
The red one.
Okay.
Oh, that's 10 total.
Okay, yeah, the fireball slings by, slamming into the ceiling wall on the other side of them, igniting flames and illuminating the area briefly. You don't seem to hit anything. As you guys kind of crawl up, launching out, moving towards Kalvyn and towards these other enemies, Amsen, it's been a few minutes. You just staying there waiting, preparing, just in case.
Yeah. Probably, if it seems relatively safe, I'm going to do some writing some songs in my head. Okay. And when I start to get concerned, I'll start thinking of what I'm going to tell everybody's parents.
Okay. Make a perception check while you're kind of thinking these over, writing some songs. A minute goes by and you start to be a little concerned.
All right. Perception, big ol' 0, so that's 12.
12? You hear a muffled scream coming from the long tunnel, the southern long tunnel that you went partially down. You hear the clanking and the sound of a muffled yell before it's cut short.
Down which way, sorry?
The tunnel that you squeezed through before but didn't go all the way down.
Okay, did it sound familiar?
Hard to tell with that perception check. You definitely heard something, though. It's something in pain. Humanoid pain.
Okay, so the rope's 50 feet. So I'll leave about... I'll go up to the crevice, which will be, 40 feet. So then 40... It's 35, 40 feet to get to the pool, and then the rest of it's down and sunken in the water.
Okay. Yeah, so 10 to 15 is kind of held in the water, and the rest is leading towards the tunnel.
Yeah, so as I poke through to look into that area, I'm just going to listen for a little bit longer. And if I hear any more screaming or anything like that, then I'll say something.
Okay. The combat that's happening up here, out of character, is happening very quickly, so you would within a second hear something happening.
Okay, then I'll say, I'll scream out as loud as I can. Hello! Can you hear me? And let it echo down the narrow passageway that I explored earlier.
Okay, and yelling as kind of as loud as you can. The rest of you up there would hear a muffled yell.
Of Amsen's voice, or just of an unknown?
You could tell it's Amsen's. He has his accent.
I'm very good at projecting my voice.
Yes.
Yeah, then I think, if possible, to respond. I think Ball would kind of bellow something out. I assume maybe I'm decent at projecting my voice, being my lung. I don't know what part of my.
It's not as pretty, but it's loud.
Yeah. What part of your diaphragm is that? Like the
Yeah.
Yes, it's your diaphragm that you use in order to project your voice.
Yeah, I'm like, I have my tongue. I don't know. Yeah. So I guess with my diaphragm, I project that it's us, and that we need help.
Okay, and so you hear Ball just kind of bellow out something down there, as we'll you kind of shift down into the initiative order here. And so this guy's quickly gonna step up and turn to you, Ball, and kind of ready his great axe, ready to roll.
Okay.
And as soon as this other one steps up, he steps up and attacks you. That is a 22 to hit you, Ball.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And that is, let me make sure I get the damage right on this. 3 piercing damage, as number 1 stabs you with the spear.
All right.
As that happens, the other one with a great axe in his hand is going to come down at you. That is going to be a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that is, he comes down with the axe. That is 9 slashing damage as he brings this great axe down on your back, dragging it down your shoulders.
All right. I'm still up somehow.
And then this one's going to come up right here towards you, Vesper. And that is a 13 to hit you, Vesper.
It does not.
Okay, strikes at you towards the spear. You just kind of duck to the side, just barely misses you. And that'll bring us up to Vesper, Ball, and Ellery.
Spare the dying on Kalvyn immediately.
Okay, so you immediately reach down, touching onto his flesh. Immediately the wounds and the blood stops flowing and just stay still.
And then I'm just going to, basically put myself over him and try and...
Okay. Kind of try to get yourself between him and the others, the other Ghula. Ball, Ellery?
I'm getting up out of the water now.
Okay. 10 feet of movement just to get out of the water, but you get to the shoreline, basically.
And then I would like to cast Acid Splash at the big one at both of the ones that are attacking Ball.
Okay. And
that's a dexterity save for them.
And are you able to make it to where it doesn't hit allies? Do you choose the creatures? Let me see.
Yeah, I can choose 2 creatures within range if they're next to each other. I
wanted to make sure I wasn't going to hit anyone else. So are you hitting red and blue or the 2 blues?
Red and blue.
Okay. So the red, the bigger one in armor, he rolled a 13.
That just makes it.
The other one is a 6.
Okay. So that does not make it. So he takes 2.
Okay. So as you crawl up, one dead Ghula throat slit on the ground in front of you. You turn over to see 3 more, one of which is heavily armored, carrying a very big axe. You throw acid over there. The armored one just kind of ducks to the side as the acid just splashes on his armor, sizzling against it, but doesn't bear into it. The other one does have some of it splash on his face that burns into his cheek. Ball, bringing us to you.
5-foot step. So how does it the 5-foot step I can use and I won't incur attack of opportunity?
Yeah, but it's only 5-foot movement.
Okay.
But you can do that.
All right. I'll give this a try. I'm going to try to 5-foot step, and then I want to try to grapple the heavily armored guy.
Yeah, athletics check.
21.
Reroll. Yeah, as you reach out for him, you try to grab around him. He immediately bears his arm down upon your arm, trying to break it. So reroll. You roll the same thing.
21.
Yeah, the second he breaks it for just a moment, and you quickly just shift your arm again and grab it around his wrist. You have him grappled.
Okay, and then I just want to in my mind, I'm taking him and I'm just pushing him into this wall as far as I can take him.
Okay. So you shift over here and you grab him, and you because you move defensively, you don't have enough movement to move him anywhere, but you do have him in place, so you can't move.
Okay, and I can't move him anywhere.
No, because you used 5-foot shift instead of 5 foot of movement.
Or unless, but okay, so if I did stay here, sorry, I'm a bit new with this 5-foot step. If I did stay here and I tried to grab him, then I could move him around, but I would only take an attack of opportunity if I moved out of that zone, right? Can I just take him, and can I rotate him and maybe what if I took him, rotated him, and I just put him against this wall?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah,
so,
can I do that?
5, 10, 15, 20.
Or
you can't quite get him there, but you can get him. You can get him right there. You can't quite get him all the way.
Yeah, that's fine. So I'll keep him there.
Okay, so you grab him and just kind of twist him away from Vesper and Kalvyn.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Amsen will come to you. So you're down at the bottom. You hear fighting going on above. You hear balls bellowing.
Okay. I'll just drop the rope then.
Okay.
And then I'll move 30 feet into this thing.
Okay, normal movement to get there.
And then I'll take my action to get squeeze as far into the crevice as I can.
Okay, so it'll be 1 square back from where you are. So you can basically get 25 feet instead of 30 because it starts to get where you have to turn sideways and squeeze.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll yell out, "I'm coming! I'm almost there."
Okay. You'll hear Amsen's voice reverberating as he's running, trying to get as close as he can. That's going to bring us up to them. Number 2 is going to see Vesper. You place your hand onto Kalvyn. Let's see what he thinks about that. And that is going to be a 19 to hit Kalvyn. Which I assume hits. And it doesn't matter. Kalvyn is now unconscious again, bleeding out. Number 1 is going to attack towards you, Ball, seeing as you have the armor one grappled. That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is only 2 piercing damage.
And I'm unconscious.
His Ball falls. And that'll bring us up to this big one. As Ball falls to the ground, the big one is going to go for a ball. At advantage, natural 19, yeah, that'll hit. As Ball, you take 2 death saving fails. As he brings his great axe down upon Ball. And that'll bring us up to Vesper Ellery.
I lost Kalvyn. Ball's my best friend. I'm running over and I'm spare the dying immediately.
Spare the dying. Ball stops bleeding.
If I take that, I get an attack opportunity. I don't even give a shit.
Takes 1. That is a 13.
Nope, just misses.
Okay. You hear the whoosh behind your head, but you don't even hear it as you're focused on saving Ball. Ellery?
The armor that the big one is wearing, is it made out of metal?
It is. It looks like it's piecemeal. It's not pretty, but it is metal.
Okay.
Various chain metals and various mismatched pieces of metal that you probably scavenged and put and fit together.
So I'm going to get up next to him, and I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp at advantage because he's wearing metal.
Okay.
That is 21.
Oh, yeah. That'll hit.
So then, let me double check what dice I'm using. Okay. Just 2 damage.
Just 2, okay.
But it can't take reactions.
Okay, so you go up there and electricity flows through, and it courses through his body with the metal armor as he turns over his shoulder to look at you. You see he's wearing this partially a helmet, but also this white skull mask over his eyes, or over his face. You can see the black eyes beyond as they kind of stare at you, snarling. You can hear him, "Contractio sorafai," speaking in the same tongue as the other one.
And I just say, fuck you.
Okay. So that is y'all and them, and that will bring us to, let's see, I think it's back up to them, right? Yeah, it's them, y'all, them, and then Amsen.
Does Kalvyn have to roll here?
And
maybe get like a nat 20 for...
Well, he's not bleeding out. so that's good. He rolled a 14. And then we'll go for them.
I'm like hoping for the nat 20 death save or something to bring us up.
I'll keep rolling. So number 2 is going to come up to Vesper. That's a natural 19. And that's going to be 5 piercing damage against you, Vesper.
Mm-hmm.
And this other one is going to strike towards you, Vesper. Natural 18.
Yep.
And that is 3 piercing damage.
Awesome.
And the big guy, the one carrying the great axe, is going to turn towards you with electricity still running through him. He's kind of shaking and convulsing just a bit. He's going to bring his axe up and try to come down on Ellery. That is going to be a 23 to hit you, Ellery.
Yeah, that hits.
And that is, let me make sure I get the damage right, 6 slashing damage as it comes down on you. And he seems to have thrown caution to the wind. He's just slinging his axe wherever it goes. He's not acting defensively whatsoever. And that'll bring us up to Amsen as you're down there. Basically difficult terrain as you're squeezing through.
Okay.
So you can get 30 feet if you're dashing.
Yeah. 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh my goodness, this thing is huge.
And you can start to see the ceiling that kind of goes up, kind of in this area.
Oh my. This is going to be a long squeeze.
And that'll bring us up to Vesper and Ball. Or, I'm sorry, Vesper and Ellery. Ball is...
Ellery, you can go first.
So, Ellery, you have this massive armored, skull-masked Ghula who just brought his axe onto you, skinning across your arm and hitting into parts of your thighs. He brings the axe back. 2 other Ghula converging upon Vesper.
I'm gonna do Shock and Grasp again.
Okay.
And still at advantage.
And you get the feeling you would have advantage anyway, because he is not being defensively at all. He is being very reckless in his attack, swinging his axe every which way.
So that was 21.
That'll definitely hit.
That is a 3 this time.
3, okay.
And moving or not moving, neither way seems any better than the other, so I'm going to stay put.
Okay. And you would understand your spell, but as the lightning rushes through, he begins to to convulse a bit. And for a moment, his muscles lock up, and you know you could step away from him without him being able to do anything. You would understand how your spell works. Just
yeah,
but you able to do anything, but you don't have to. Just letting you know.
I'm worried about Vesper and him turning on her.
Okay.
So.
All right, so you stay put where you are, Vesper.
I'm looking bad. I just start praying as hard as I can. I'm doing everything in my power, just begging AI to help us.
Okay, are you casting
out loud? No, I'm just fucking Hail Mary. I just need my goddess to help us.
Roll a D100.
Oh shit! Okay.
Roll it in the chat.
Okay.
This is a crazy.
My hands are shaking so bad.
It's not an actual ability, but I'm gonna give it to you.
My hands are shaking so bad. Okay.
Okay. So you just start praying, eyes closed.
As hard as I can.
Okay.
Sobbing, just over Ball, just trying to guard him with my 2 fucking hit points of life.
As you begin to do that, Ball is stabilized, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kalvyn has to roll. You see the blood clotting on Kalvyn, at least. And that will bring us Amsen.
Okay. Let's keep on squeezing. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Getting to the end here.
Wait. So when you get right up here, you can start to see the end, and looking up, you can hear the sound louder at this vicinity, right where you are. And looking up, you can kind of see a ledge maybe 30 feet up.
Oh my. Okay, so at that point, I'll use my action then as a move action to start climbing.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check. You can kind of push your back up against with your leg and kind of use that as some aid in this climbing check.
That's a big fat 9.
9. Okay, you start to you fall down the first time. You start to climb up the more traditional route, and there's nothing to hang on to. But you can kind of push your legs against with your back up to the wall, and you start to get up. You're only about a foot up, but you've gotten started. You fell once, and you're kind of starting to move up now.
Okay.
And that will bring us up to them. Number two is going to see you tearing over a ball, and is going to smile, and is going to attack. That is a 17 to hit ball. I think that hits your armor class.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start bleeding out again as it goes into you. Number two is going to do the same thing. That is a 15 to hit you ball.
If I'm unconscious, doesn't it hit me anyway, or no?
Well, what's your AC? You still have. Okay, so even with your armor, it slings into your metal and it pushes into your sternum. And if you were conscious, you might feel the pain in your sternum, but it's not enough to break through the chainmail and your bone sternum right there. So he kind of pulls it back up. You're just unconscious, no death saving fails. The big one, though, is going to go for Ellery. Reckless, as always. That is a 20.
Yeah, that hits.
That's a 10 slashing damage as he comes out.
I'm down.
Okay, as he slams it into Ellery, knocks her back about a foot as she falls down to the ground as well. And that will bring us up to Vesper.
I scream at the top of my lungs, and again, I'm just, with everything I have, I'm just
going to Hail Mary it again?
I'm going to fucking Hail Mary it again.
Okay, roll a D100.
She listens when no one else does.
Roll low.
Oh, that's low.
Okay. You got to roll really low. Okay, so you just... What?
Can I toll the dead at all, or is that my action, the Hail Mary?
I'll say as a part of your screaming, since you're being wild, you can toll the dead.
Okay, I want to do the one standing over Ellery, I guess.
The one standing over Ellery?
Yeah, she's a wisdom save.
6.
Nope.
Even with his modifiers, it's not, which is still 6, actually.
Oh no, that's not. What was right there? 4.
4. Okay. Yeah. So some of the few wounds on his body begin to course out. The trickling blood begins to turn black and flow more rapidly. Ellery and Ball, death saving. 1 fail for Ball.
12.
And 1 save for Ellery. And that'll bring us up to Amsen. So you have about 25 feet to reach the top. You can make an athletics check.
All right. Yeah, I'll do an athletics check.
Okay.
That's a 16.
That's enough. So you can get to the top. With about 30 feet of movement, you can get right there. Kalvyn's sword has gone out. I think Ball had a torch, though I think it went out.
Yeah, it would have gone out of the water.
Okay, so let me turn this out.
Okay.
But you can hear violence in front of you, directly north.
In that case, then I'm going to reach underneath my coat and into the robe that I have.
Okay.
I'm going to rip off a piece of the fabric, throw it down, and summon 2 dogs.
Oh shit. That's what you meant. I totally didn't understand that. I thought you meant like military.
Nope.
Okay.
I summon 2 mastiffs.
We're going to do these big guys because these guys look scary. Do they act on this turn?
I have no idea. All I know is that it uses my action to summon 2 mastiffs.
Okay, so I'll say they, as you throw this patch to the ground that has 2 dog heads that are kind of, one is facing left and one is facing right, these 2 black dogs with red collars, you throw it to the ground and immediately the patch begins to spin as arcane runes light up as a brief flash of bright blue light. And then as it fades, the blinding light fades, there are 2 black mastiffs just standing there, and they kind of look over you, at you. I'll say they won't act on this turn as they were just summoned, but otherwise they'll act next turn.
All right.
On you. And so that'll bring us to them. So this guy's going to move to Vesper. Advantage. It's a 21 to hit.
Yep.
Vesper.
Yeah. It does more than 2 damage. I'm out.
Yeah, that's 15 damage.
Yeah.
As he strikes down upon Vesper.
If that goes negative, equal to my hit point maximum.
You said you had how much
I
left?
had 13 hit. I had 2 left, and I have 13 max. So that breaches it.
Rules.
I'm pretty sure that just fucking killed me.
Okay, we'll say you go out, and I'll look up the rules as we're going. The other 2, let's see if they get these dogs. That one not. That one will. This one's just going to rush forward, and this one's going to follow him actually, a little bit behind. And this one's just going to move around. He's going to board as you see him fumbling, searching for something in his pack. Amsen, that'll bring us up to you.
Okay. Alright, so I can see the one in front of me. So I got a question. If I use Vicious Mockery for my action, can I throw a dagger as a bonus action? Because it's a light weapon.
I'll say you can.
Okay. So I'll run up to here. I'll run 10 feet forward, still 10 feet behind the dogs. And I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on the one in front of the dogs.
Natural 20 on him.
Damn it. Okay, I'm not going to say it then. No point. And then I will throw a dagger at him.
Okay.
For my bonus action. Natural 20.
Nice. 2d4 plus modifiers.
2d4 plus 2. That is a total of 8 damage.
As you throw that dagger forward, you throw it right into his throat. He coughs up blood, falls dead.
Yes. Okay, and then the Mastiffs will attack the next one behind him.
Okay, so they just charge forward. And
I have the stats up, if you would like.
Okay. So, yeah, it's plus 3 to hit. 1d6 plus 1 damage.
Would you like me to roll, or you roll?
I'll say you can roll, since these are your things. I'll let you.
Alright, so left one, that's a total 20.
That'll hit.
And the right one, that's a total 19.
Both will hit, so 2d6 plus 2 total.
Alright. Roll high.
Or actually,
please.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me 1 of the damage.
Okay, that one is a 5.
Okay, and then just give me another attack roll, because the first one actually knocked him prone.
Oh, okay.
So you have advantage, so just in case it's a natural 20, you hit it anyway.
No, it's not a natural 20.
Okay, so do your 1d6 plus 1.
That's only a 2.
A 2, okay. So as the first Mastiff knocks him back, and the second one begins to tear into him, he's not going to last much longer, but he's still up. And so that is you. Kalvyn is stabilized. I think Ball is unstable and Ellery is unstable, and both would need to make death saves.
Okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Ellery,
what does
eyes
that mean?
open up.
You're up to
Oh.
As you're conscious, you take your turn right now. You're on your back, half your movement to stand up, but you take your turn right now. As you see Vesper on the ground, Ball on the ground, Kalvyn on the ground. Ball and Vesper are bleeding, it seems. You can hear dogs, of all things, chewing to the south, and you're awake. What do you do?
Okay, so I can see the big guy, and I'm gonna fucking cast Firebolt. Not even, what? Yeah, I'm gonna get up.
Okay, so you stand up.
And then I'm gonna cast Firebolt at the big guy.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
That is a 13.
That'll just barely hit.
Okay. So, where is my D10? Okay. 9.
9, okay. The fire slams into him. To his side, he's not even... Actually, roll again, just in case, because he was being reckless. Just in case you get a natural 20. But you would have done the damage anyway. Just in case.
Okay, for advantage?
Yeah, just in case.
That's a 16.
Okay, you hit anyway, you do your damage, but that was just in case it was a natural 20. But yeah, the fire slams into his side, burning and scalding part of his face as he's holding this axe, and he was facing to the south, kind of ignoring you as he turns his head over to the side. 2 death fails for Roger. Vesper, go ahead and give me a death fails. I'm still finding what the shit means.
Oh. 7.
7, okay. All right. And as y'all go, that will bring us up to them. This one's going to attack the Mastiff. That is a 10 to hit.
Mastiffs have an AC of 12.
Miss, okay. And this one, what does this asshole do? The armored one is going to drop his axe to the ground, and he's going to pull out 2 hand axes he has on the side, and he's going to sling one at you, Ellery. Recklessly at advantage. There's a 20 to hit.
Wait, what's swinging at me?
The armored one. He's throwing an axe at you.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
Okay, so, that is a 4 plus something. So you sling fire into his face, and immediately an axe comes and hits you in the shoulders. You fall unconscious again. And the other axe, he's going to come up a bit as you fall, and he's going to throw it at the dog. Enough to hit. Yeah, it's like a 18. All right. So the other one hits the Mastiff, dealing 4 slashing damage to it. So almost killing him. He has 1 left. And that'll bring us up to you, Amsen.
Okay. He did 4 damage to the Mastiff?
Yeah, he's still barely up.
Okay. Well,
the axe is kind of sticking into its front shoulder around his throat.
Okay. Let's see here. What can I do? Okay, I'm gonna run up to this guy between the 2 Mastiffs.
Okay.
And I'm going to stab him with my rapier.
Okay.
That's a 6.
No, that'll miss, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay, the wounded Mastiff is going to attack the one in front of him.
Okay.
That's a 6. The other Mastiff is going to attack the guy in front of him.
Okay.
That's a 9. Wow.
Both miss, so they're chomping at him, and even with 3 of you in front of him, he's quickly using his spear to keep the dogs at bay.
I don't think I have any bonus action stuff left, so that's it.
Okay, all right. And that will bring us up to Ellery and Ball. Death saving throws.
Okay. 13.
Okay, 1 save. Ball.
That's it for me.
Okay, and I'm remembering this now, but I'll ask both of you, Ball and Vesper. In your final moments, you may even have a moment of clarity. How do you want to die?
I'm just thinking about my dad and the fact that Ferris is right, and I shouldn't have done this. It's so fucking stupid. And that they're going to be without me. And Alexander's already lost his wife and almost lost theirs, and now he's losing his daughter. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So
I couldn't put the other two.
In this dark place, in your darkest moment, you think of your family. who you're leaving behind as the axe comes down and you fall. And Ball?
I don't know if Ball really gets this moment of clarity. As far as he's concerned, he's spending his last moment, his not last moments, holding back this berserker guy so that way, we have a chance of making sure it's not Kalvyn's last moment.
Okay.
And I guess that's when things go black for him.
Okay. So your last moments are holding off, fending off the darknesses. You two fall. And that brings us up to them. This guy's going to attack you, Amsen, actually. It's a 12.
Nope.
Okay.
14.
This guy is going to rush up. He's going to take out... actually, he spent the last turn taking something out of his pack. You see a bone, and he breaks it. And this marrow blackish powder burst out of the broken bone, and he snorts it in as you see this black smoky powder come into his nostrils through the mask. And that takes his whole turn, but you see his black eyes almost dilate.
Ugh.
And he takes his whole turn to do that. You can see veins in his arms and exposed parts of his armors, but you can the pulse. And that will bring us back up to Amsen and your dogs.
Okay. Alright, let's see here. Got two guys in front of me, my dogs left and right. Dog is going to attack the smaller dude.
Okay.
That is a 22.
That'll definitely hit.
Wow, yes, 7.
Dead. The
yes.
Dog leaps up, launching into his throat and rips it out.
Okay.
As the fella falls dead. There's only one remaining, but he's armored.
Okay, other dog, attack the armored dude. That is a 16.
That'll hit.
Another 7.
Nice.
Alright. Okay, I'm going to attack him with my rapier.
Okay.
Armored
Make
dude.
it an advantage.
Oh yeah, because reckless attack. Or whatever.
Yeah,
Something.
he's not being defensive at all. He's just swinging his weapon, and actually at this point he's just sucking in something.
He doesn't care. That's good. Natural 20.
Natural 20, 2d8 plus modifiers. Amsen and his dog standing the line.
Wow, do I need to move my webcam because that's max damage?
You don't have to. I would like to see it though, just because it sounds awesome. But
Okay.
I totally believe you.
Can you see those?
Oh my God.
Can you see those 8s? Can you see
Yes.
those 8s? That's an 18
That's brilliant.
total damage with my rapier.
Those are the most beautiful 8s I've ever fucking seen in my life.
And as you drive your rapier forward, you find a chink in the armor that you're able to drive it up into him. Even so, you find his flesh is thicker than it was before. You can see him pulsing, and he takes the pain, but he grits his teeth through it. And you actually see blood trickle out of his mouth from him grinding his teeth. You know, whatever it was that marrow that he inhaled did something to him.
Oh boy. Okay, I have a bonus action, but I don't have any bonus action stuff anymore, so that's it. That's my turn.
Okay. Kalvyn, stable. Ellery, death saving 30. Unless, I think you've had one success.
I've had one success.
Okay.
3.
3, okay. 1 and 1. And that will bring us up to him. He's going to finish your dog off. That's a 10. As he comes down towards the massive, this wounded and a little bit slow, he just clatters against the stone. You can hear the crack of stone beneath the axe where it hit, and he kind of drives it up. Actually, sorry, at advantage because reckless. Still, even worse, it slams into the stone as he drives it back. The dog just barely able to sidestep it. That will bring us up to Amsen. And friends.
Okay. Dog number 1. Natural 1.
Okay, misses. The dog launches forward. He just elbows the dog back to the ground.
Dog 2.
Launches up.
19.
19 with at advantage for both because he's reckless.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that natural 1 is actually a 16.
Okay, that hits. And then the other one is
The other one's a
20
19.
Okay, just want to make sure just in case it was a 20. But yeah, both of those hit.
Alright, so that's 4 and 3 for a total of 7 damage from the dogs.
Okay. As they're biting into him, they're able to get through the armor a little bit, but as you can see, his eyes are dilated, his teeth are grinding, and you can actually see blood beginning to trickle out of his nose as well, and dripping out of the face mask. And you see each hit isn't doing as much as it should.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to attack with my rapier.
Okay.
At advantage, that's another natural 20.
No shit. Yeah. 2d8 plus modifiers.
And it's the critical roll one.
Oh. Blessed.
Hashtag blessed. Alright, let's roll another 2d8 plus 2. Oh, okay, that's not as good as the last one. That's 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay, you strike into him, and you're starting to find where his weak points are as he's recklessly. You wait till he's aiming for a dog or turn to deal with one, and that's when you strike.
Okay, I'm going to use my movement to take a 5-foot step back.
Okay. Okay, you do so.
The gods didn't abandon us, there was just lag.
Okay. And that will bring us up to Ellery.
Player 2 disconnected.
Let's see.
17.
17. Okay, 2-1. And that will bring us up to him. He's getting real sick of your dog, but he's starting to look at you, Amsen. 21.
Yeah, that
doesn't
definitely
matter,
hits.
but that dog is done. As he comes down, the dog just a whimper. The axe just hits him, and the dog is unmoving as he rips it out. Blood kind of splatters off towards you and onto you, Amsen. As he actually steps forward towards you.
Okay, as he steps forward towards me, my dog gets an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
That's a 7.
7, okay. Yeah, if he was not reckless, I would say he 5-foot shifts, but he's reckless, so he just steps. But either way, the dog kind of launches at his leg and grabs at it, but can't get through the armor.
Is that still at advantage?
It would still be at advantage.
I keep forgetting that. That's also a 7.
Okay, so he tries to, but he just can't quite get through. So that's him. That will bring us up to you, Amsen.
Okay, dog's gonna move in and attack him.
Okay, at advantage.
That's
tries to bite.
That's a 13.
That will just hit.
Oh, good. That's another 7.
Okay. So the dog almost climbs onto the back of this guy, trying to rip into his shoulder. It's kind of almost dangling there, pulling the Ghula's arm down to the side as he's carrying the weight of this dog. He's tearing into his shoulder.
I hope this guy's making strength saving throws.
Ooh. Good. Not as good, but he's
DC's 11. It's not very high.
Okay. So I had him roll a few, and he saved it. You can tell this Ghula is definitely stronger than the others. He's bigger.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stab him with my rapier.
Okay.
That's only an 8.
That'll miss, unfortunately.
Okay, I'll take it.
You still get advantage?
I keep forgetting it every time. That's only a 12.
Okay, just barely.
No,
hits.
sorry, 13, because I get a +4. My brain.
Just barely hits.
My brain. I get a +4. That's a 9 + 4. That's 13, right, guys?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Actually, that's not 20. I changed it 7.
Okay, yeah, that's a 20.
Okay,
everyone heals 4 points.
That's 7 piercing damage.
7, okay.
The pressure.
You're starting to tear into him. You're starting to wear him down, but he's a tough guy to crack.
Okay.
I mean, even till he's barely feeling the pain, he's ignoring it.
Okay, I'll take another step back.
Okay, Ellery. That's it.
Okay.
There's 2 and 1 for you.
It's a 9.
Okay, 2 and 2. The blood is still flowing. And this time, this guy's going to step up to you, Amsen. He's going to ignore your dog again. So, at advantage, the dog attacks.
That is 12, unfortunately.
That would just miss. He's going to come to you. That is a 15 to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
And that is a 5 slashing damage as he comes down with the axe.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay. And that is his turn. And that will bring us up to you.
Okay. Alright, dog attacks.
Okay. At advantage.
That's a dirty 20.
That'll hit.
That's 3 points of damage.
And strength save. Makes it, yeah. The dog almost tackles, slams into him behind. He kind of gets pushed forward a few inches, but he stabilizes his feet in the ground and remains standing.
Alright. Okay, now I'm going to attack with my rapier. My brain.
Okay.
That is a 16.
That'll hit.
Okay, that is 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Keep rolling these fives.
He's starting to look rough. He's not going to last much longer, but he's still up.
Okay, take another step back.
Okay, Ellery.
Okay. Oh, really? It just rolled off the table. The other one rolled off the table.
Fucking cat.
Okay. I gotta calm down for a second. Let my hands stop shaking enough to roll this. Natural fucking 20.
No shit.
I don't have the webcam to show you, but...
Alright. Ellery, for the second time, opens her eyes.
Okay. So, I get up.
15 feet to stand up.
And I can't see anything from where I am, except that everybody around me is down.
Everyone's down on the ground.
Can I hear anything?
You can hear to the south, definitely.
Okay, so I am going to move a little bit. Would it be difficult terrain to move over Vesper or Ball?
I'm gonna say no. They're not.
Okay.
They're on their backs. You basically step over them.
Okay. So I'm going to move as far as I can this way, and I can see him.
Okay.
I will cast Firebolt.
Okay. Attack at advantage.
16 plus 5 is 21.
That'll hit.
That is 6.
6. Okay.
6
the fire slams into his back, knocking him forward just a bit as he turns over to catch a glimpse of you. All right. And so that is Ellery. That's going to bring us up to him.
And before, can I tell about Ball and Vesper?
In this quick moment, you don't have enough time to investigate or anything, but you can tell, you can look over and see Kalvyn, kind of his chest moving up and down very slowly, and you can start to look at Vesper and Ball to see how they're doing, but none of them are moving.
Okay.
And that'll bring us up to him. He's going to charge forward, attack with the dog. He's coming for you, Amsen.
Oh, I can see that.
At advantage from the dog.
Yeah, that's 18.
That'll hit.
That's 4.
Okay. He's going to come at you at advantage. That's a 20 to hit.
That hits.
And that is a 13 slashing damage.
I'm unconscious.
Okay, as the axe slams into you, Amsen, everything goes black. And that'll bring us up to Amsen and the dog. The dog can still act.
Okay, dog. That's pretty good. That's worse. That's a 19.
That'll hit.
Okay. 7 points.
The dog leaps up into his back and slams him down flat on his face on the ground and bites into his neck. He struggles to get up. Just as the sight is leaving your eyes and blackness takes you, at this moment, Amsen, you're out. Ellery is just you as you see him slowly starting to get to his feet. He's not quite out, but he's covered in blood at this point. And that will bring us up to, actually, Amsen, death save.
Alright, death save. Let's go with my mithril die. That's a 6. You betrayed me.
Okay.
Asshole.
And that will bring us up to you, Ellery. You can see he's starting to get to his feet. He's still on the ground, though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a firebolt again.
Okay. Straight roll. Because he's prone, he's a smaller target, but he is kind of reckless, so he's not being defensive.
Okay. 8 plus 5 is 13, right?
How do you want to do
that? Oh my god. My hands are shaking. My hands and Ellery's hands are shaking as I just hold out my hand and scream.
Okay. You let out this scream, and in this darkness you can see Kalvyn on the ground, Vesper on the ground, Ball on the ground. You see several dead Ghula. You see dogs you've never seen before on the ground, dead. And you see Amsen, as you move over towards him, you see Amsen fall as well onto the ground. And just as he's starting to get up, he's still looking towards Amsen. He's crawling towards him, one hand in front of the other, grabbing onto Amsen's legs, pulling him forth, pulling a knife out from the side of his hip, starting to bring it down on Amsen. And as you do, the firebolt slings into him, slamming into the back of his chest and back, as it rushes the flames over the back of his head, burning as he falls onto the ground, body on top of Amsen, unmoving. There's a few moments of stillness as you look around. Kalvyn's breathing is shallow, but there's no movement from Vesper, none from Ball. You can see this dog, the one dog that's remaining, kind of moves over to Amsen and kind of nudges the body of this Ghula, this armored Ghula, off of him, and is kind of licking at Amsen. You can see Amsen the blood is pooling out around his body.
Okay. Okay, and so I'm gonna try not to think too hard right now. I'm gonna go grab a healer's kit.
Okay.
And run for Amsen.
Okay. So you reach into Vesper's pack and pull out this healer's kit from her. She's unmoving. Her arms flop to the side as you turn her over to pull it out of her pack. Her hair that's always normally moving and wafting in the wind, this black hair with smoke kind of intertwined. There's no smoke. It's just black, inert hair that's kind of fallen on the ground. You ignore it and pull the pack out, and you rush over to Amsen. Give me a medicine check.
Okay. That is a 17.
Okay, Amsen, you can see the blood pooling from where this heavy axe wound was cut into his front chest, and you just take gauze and you stuff it. You're not training this, but you stuff the wound heavily, and you take what tape you have and try to press and apply pressure. You just hold it there and hope that the blood stops. And the blood is soaked up into this gauze, and it gets over your hands, and you see it pulling, but eventually, as you hold pressure, it stops. The dog just kind of comes up to you and kind of is licking your face and looking at Amsen's face.
And so I could tell. So Amsen is stabilized.
In this moment, as you hold the gauze on, you know a few things. You know Kalvyn's breathing. You've stopped Amsen's bleeding. Vesper and Ball are no more. And you are, at this moment, alone.
If I'm reasonably certain that Amsen is not going to bleed out right now, I'm gonna walk back over to where Vesper and Ball are lying on the ground. And I'm gonna Can I see their holy symbols? They both have one.
I imagine, are they necklaces, or do you keep them around your wrist?
Mine
might be a
always
necklace.
on it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they're both
Touches
necklaces.
it all the time, so.
Yeah, they're visible.
So I'm going to kneel down right next to Ball and just put my hand on his holy symbol and say into the darkness, Aine, I know you probably don't care about me, but you care about Ball and Vesper. I know that. Please, please, please.
Okay. As you whisper these words, these prayers, reaching out for Aine, I'll say roll a D100 in the chat. Roll a 1. The tears fall down your face, and the words as you repeat them get quieter each time. And in this silence, Vesper nor Ball nor Aine respond. And as you survey around, looking at your friends, that's where we're going to end tonight's session and figure out where to go from there.